And we can talk, but it shouldn't be that much. It's just the ground is so unlevel because of the tree stumps that I don't know if we can fix it the other way.
President, be live.
Sure,
President?
good evening, everyone. On behalf of the Paterson Municipal Council, I welcome you to the special meeting of the Municipal Council. Madam Clerk,
Yes, Mr. President.
please call the meeting to order.
Yes, sir. I just want to make sure we have a quorum. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, we do.
President, do we do?
Yes.
4.
5, 6.
Okay, all right, thank you. Yes, Mr. President, I'm sorry. Roll call for Municipal Council special meeting December 1st, 2020 at 8:30 p.m. Councilman Abdelaziz. Councilwoman Khan? Councilman Davila? Councilman Jackson? Councilman Kalik?
Yeah.
Councilman Mendez?
Present, Madam Clerk.
Thank you. Councilman Nims?
I'm here. Good evening, Madam Clerk.
Thank you. Councilman Glass?
Once again, Madam Clerk, thank you. Present.
Thank you. Mr. President?
I think Councilman Jackson might be here.
I haven't seen.
The Galaxy X10, is that him?
His name should be there, but I'm not sure.
Well, my voice, yes, Madam Clerk.
Okay, thank you, Mr. President. Okay. You can continue, Mr. President. I just did a roll call.
Yeah, will you right, Madam Clerk?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Meeting covered by 48-hour notice. Notice of the time, date, location, and agenda of this meeting was transmitted to the North Jersey Herald News, The Record, Our Voice, Alien Voice, Passaic County Pulse, Dominicana News, Cooperative International, El Especial, the Paterson Press, the City Post News, Tap into Paterson in addition to any other publication duly requesting such notices. At or about 11 a.m. on November 18th and November 24th, 2020, such notices were posted on the bulletin board in the offices of the city clerk at City Hall. And I have to read this entire agenda. Pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, be advised that the Municipal Council of the City of Paterson has scheduled a special meeting for Tuesday, December 1st, 2020 at 8:30 p.m. to be held via WebEx/Zoom or in the Council Chambers, 155 Market Street, first floor, City Hall, Paterson, New Jersey, for the purpose of discussing the following matters. Public portion. To participate in the public portion, dial 973-321-1579, enter code 8326. I repeat the number, 973-321-1579, enter code 8326. Press star 1 to listen to the meeting, press star 2 to leave a recorded comment, and press star 3 to be added to the speaker list for the public portion. Resolutions, item number 1. Resolution authorizing special item of revenue and appropriation, Passaic County subgrant of federal COVID-19 CARES Act, additional funding, finance, Resolution 2665, formal action will be taken. Item number 2. Resolution authorizing the award of contract to D&B Service Group, LLC, for the furnishing and installation of GPS bipolar ionization on all HVAC units and all city buildings, and installation of 7 standalone 5,000 CFM air handlers at all firehouses under OMIA Partners, formerly U.S. Communities, contract number R200401, Fire, Resolution 2666. Formal action will be taken. Item number 3. Resolution authorizing the City of Paterson to enter into a regional cooperative pricing agreement known as the Hunter County Educational Services Commission Cooperative Pricing System HSE Co-op New Jersey State approved number 34 HUNCCP Fire Resolution 2667 formal action will be taken. Item number 4. Resolution authorizing the award of contract with Keyboard Consultants Inc. for the purchase of 400 Promethean active panels for hybrid learning under regional cooperative agreement with Hunterland County Educational Services Commission Cooperative Pricing System, contract number 8C ESC CAT 19-06 for the Fire Department. Fire Resolution 2668, formal action will be taken. Item number 5. Resolution authorizing the award of contract with Packet Talk Care of Shy for the purchase, installation, and maintenance of 60 Packet Talk terminal temperature cameras for the Fire Department. Fire Resolution 2669, formal action will be taken. Item number 6. Resolution authorizing the award of contract to Northeast Janitorial Supply for the purchase of face masks, disinfectants, ULV, cold fogger, and sanitizing equipment under New Jersey State approved cooperative pricing system number 65 MCES-CCPS-ESCNJ 17/18-47 for the Fire Department. Fire Resolution 2670. Formal action will be taken. Item number 7. Resolution authorizing the award of contract to Truxell Communication Inc. for the purchase of Chromebooks, licensing, and accessories for distance learning under New Jersey State contract number 17 Food-00244 for the Fire Department. Fire Resolution 2671. Formal action will be taken. Item number 8, and this was the addendum that was added on the 24th that was published. Resolution is item number 8, resolution authorizing acceptance of up to $5,210,000 in added reimbursements of the City of Paterson's expenses relating to COVID-19 through Federal CARES Act funding subgranted by Passaic County pursuant to a grant agreement between the city and the county. Finance Resolution 2672. Formal action will be taken. Mr. President, if you wish, our first item is the public portion. If you wish to take that item first.
Let's just start, I will start with number 8, Madam Clerk.
Number 8, sure, Mr. President.
We will do it for the portion at the end, Madam Clerk.
Okay, sir. Okay. We'll begin with item number 8 from the special meeting. Item number 8 reads, resolution authorizing acceptance of up to $5,210,000 in added reimbursements of the City of Paterson's expenses relating to COVID-19 through Federal CARES Act funding grant subgranted by Passaic County pursuant to a grant agreement between the city and the county. Finance Resolution 2672.
So move. Second.
Moved by Councilman Velez, second by Councilman Mendez. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Yes, Mr. President. Roll call in item number 8 for approval.
I'm sorry, Councilman Mendez, for discussion.
Okay, discussion. So this $5.2 million, I called CFO today to ask some questions pertaining to the allocation of the 5.2. I saw a video that was done stating that out of the 5.2 million, that 3.8 million is already being stated to be allocated to the school district, which leaves us about 1.4 million. I requested a breakdown of what that remainder would look like for this item. But I want to go back to the former request that I asked. In the previous 8.5 million that we received in the past, I made a recommendation, I put it on the floor when we first got that money, that there should be a resolution in place as it relates to the spending of the money. That, we didn't do that, which didn't take place. I made a call today to ask, out of the $8.5 million, how much of that money have we received from the county? I did not get that information. Can I get that on the floor? Out of the 8.5, how much of that money have we actually received in hand?
Council President?
Yes, Councilman.
So at this point in time, we have about 1.2 million that has gone through the entire process of full reimbursement to the city. And that includes cashing checks from vendors, delivering them to the county. They review the process, they approve it, they provide us the check.
Council President.
My second question is,
Hold on a minute, Councilman Mendes. Councilwoman Mims still has the floor. Go ahead.
All right.
I also requested a plan of action as it relates to COVID. This was before the rise in COVID numbers. I made a recommendation on the floor or request stating, are we properly prepared? How long? Do we have enough PPE? How long will it last? I haven't seen that plan, and now we're in the middle of the uprise. So with this $5.2 million that we have, because the 8.5 has already been allocated and pretty much accounted for. So now with the 5.2, 3.8 of it is going to the school district. And then I saw the chart that was sent to me this afternoon about 5 that shows that there are already dollars and cents allocated to the remainder. What is the plan of action for COVID? Are we properly prepared? How long will it last? Do we have enough PPE? What are we doing for residents, for our seniors? What is the plan of action for that? And then another request, I've asked for the names of the strike team. It may be minuscule to you, but I've asked for it since March. And I still have not gotten a list of names of who are the members of the strike team. So I'm just asking that question for the plan of action. What is the plan? For the PPEs, are we properly stored and stacked before with voting on this saying that we're gonna give 3.8 million, and I'm not saying I'm against giving anything to the school district, I'm just asking with the 5.2 million and the 1.4 that will only remain, and according to the chart, I don't know if the council members have seen this chart, to show that a lot of that money is already accounted for.
Yes, Council President, yes. Couple of questions. I can let Chief McDermott jump in on the PPE. I know that they had created, an inventory as well as, sort of a kind of a burn rate and some of that, and I know they could provide that. But Chief, do you want to talk a little bit about the PPE that you guys have ordered and have gotten in?
Yeah, so we have a minimum of 90,000 surgical masks. We have 35,000 N95 masks. We have enough P100 masks for the fire department for a year, at least, and the burn rate is not significant on them because we can clean them and UV them. So emergency response-wise, no problem. As far as the surgical masks and what we're doing for seniors, and we have our logistics personnel have been going out to different senior sites and to places up for the underserved that they're giving out surgical masks. Aside from that, we have tons and tons of hand sanitizer. We have the Lysol wipes, anything. So anybody who asks for it can get it. We easily can get 6 to 8 months more with the PPE that we have. We have the Tyvek suits, we have foggers. So, we have almost everything in that we've ordered because, of course, like everywhere in the country, things are back ordered for the hottest items. So we're just waiting for some of that to come in from Circle Janitorial. But we are very well stocked. I know for emergency response, we're extremely well stocked for providing to the public. The number one thing we're going to provide to the public are masks. And as stated, we're at approximately 90,000 surgical masks right now. And, what we're seeing out there is when we go out, most people already have their own fabric masks that they wash or whatever, but we hand them out to people as backups, and if we see somebody with a dirty mask, change it out for them. So we're out there on the streets giving it out. We identified different areas, like Irma Gorham, the housing authority, had received their equipment, so we're not going towards the housing authority. We're going to private senior buildings that couldn't get equipment. We're going towards EVAs and HVAC and different areas, Oasis, and our firefighter Jerome Hunter is out there going building by building with the list that he built, and then we'll keep on going further, assessing if they have any needs and all that. So I can say that we are absolutely well prepared, more so than people around us, and we started out very well prepared, and we're still continuing the same route.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Councilman Mendes, then Councilman Kalik, Councilman Khan, and nevertheless.
Thank you, Mr. President, Chief. Good evening. Like always on top of everything. And I have a question for BA. I know that, as a councilman at large, this mentioned before, a lot of the money is being allocated already. So the 3.8 going to the school district, we got 1.4. But the question that I have up to date, we know that this pandemic is on the rise now, we're getting more and more cases. Do we have a number of how much have we spending already as of now? In terms of resources, personnel, salary? I know the health department is very active out there in different time and also in different section in the city. Do we have those number of the money that we already have to spend in serving the people in Paterson?
Yes, and I actually just sent to the council that the councilwoman asked, had touched base with Marge earlier, and so I sent it to her and just shared with the council. The look at our payroll expenses in particular, what we've paid for, especially for a lot of this overtime, the redeployments, having additional staffing, especially during the height when we're running dual ambulances, ones that were COVID specific and ones that were just taking care of other patients. That is about what's already been incurred is about 3.7 of the subtotal. And, if you look at payroll itself, and again, that includes fire, police, health and human services, other departments like our, having virtual meetings, we've had to staff up in our IT for every single night. There's some meeting going on that's type of IT that wasn't incurred pre-COVID. So all of that is covered under this. We're also, then we're showing some of the projections that we think between now and the end of the year.
What's the total?
That total for payroll is about $5 million. We want to be able to submit some of our payroll so that the extra amount, the top up that we got for the second allocation of that 1.4 million is to help us address some of these increasing payroll costs, these projections.
Madam BA, you say that in total 5 million including payroll, so that's the number in total?
No. Councilman, that's just payroll. That's overtime.
We got, 3.7, the 3.7 million plus the $5 million in payroll?
Yeah, then we have about 2.4 million in medical costs, and that includes everything from the testing. That category covers not only testing, but also all of our ambulance upgrades that we've done to be able to go touchless, our touchless chest compressors, the Lucas machines, the gurney loaders, wearable, washable EMS gear. So that all falls under that 2.4 million. Then we have PPE costs that are about 1.8 million, and are about $600,000 that are in the category of the Treasury. It's actions to facilitate compliance with public health measures. So that's telework, being able to do telework expenses, improvements for the city, the hotel to shelter fire victims during COVID so they can't go to congregate sheltering. So that's about $600,000. All total, our total request is for CARES money is about 13.7 million, and that's, you take out about 3.7 that goes to the school district.
Madam Mayor, can you send that to all the council members, what you sent to me?
Yep, I just did. I did a few minutes ago before I started speaking, so you might have that in front of you. And you'll see the color coding denotes each of the different categories that are allowable under Treasury.
Madam Mayor, what is the criteria that we'll be using to distribute this funding in our county? What is the criteria that will be used?
Our first criteria was what are the items that we need to make sure that we're not going to increase our budget for. So that's why we had to prioritize a lot of our payroll. We're not a city that has, that we're going to be able to do a tax increase. We're not a city that has extra surplus sitting around to cover unanticipated expenses already in our payroll. That's why you see such a big portion of our CARES funding to allocate it to that. Then our second criteria was examining what are ways that we need to ensure the safety of our employees. And so that was some of our, hardening and the ambulance improvements and so on. The third was how are we going to make the city services continue for our taxpayers? And so that was a lot of the telework, all of those type of improvements. So that's why you see when you look at these categories, we really took a holistic look at the different 5 buckets that are allowed under Treasury. And we wanted to make sure we made good use of that. And in particular, this grant, unlike FEMA funding, so as we go forward in January, this funding disappears. We have to have this funding spent by December 30th. FEMA, we can still submit only public safety overtime for FEMA. And at that, we only get 75 cents on every dollar that we spend. So one of the things that's great about the CARES allocation is it allows us to get the grant funding for redeployment. So that's not just additional overtime, it's for using our employees in a different way. So our contact tracers who were normally doing other jobs, we can put some money into our budget, into our grant account for that service, the fact that we're not getting our normal service, that we're providing this additional service. So that's going to provide us with a little surplus going into the next year that we understand there's still going to be additional costs. We hope that there's going to also be an additional round of funding because the federal government is changing, because it's going to be a new administration, because there might be some agreement in Washington. So that is something that we look forward to, and to then be able to have additional revenue to cover some of the costs that we know we're still going to be having. When employees are out sick, other employees have to come in, police officers, firefighters, especially in those areas in public safety. Maybe in other departments, you don't have people doing replacements holistically, but you have some people needing to work overtime to complete the jobs of those who are out. That's going to continue in the new year.
Thank you. Do you finish, Councilman Mendes? You finished?
Yes, thank you.
Councilman Kalik?
Thank you, Council President. Madam BA, out of that money, 3.7 million we allocate into the school board. What are they spending their money on?
There are 4 different categories that they're spending it on. They're purchasing 400 Promethean boards. These are boards that can be used for hybrid learning. The intent is that early in the new year, they hope to be able to go back to an in-person experience, maybe not all the students back. So you might have some remote learners and some people in classroom. These boards would help the teachers work with both sets of students. The second one is 600 additional Chromebooks for distance learning. The third is thermal cameras for their schools, so 60 schools, as well as 3 cameras for their headquarters. And the final piece is an allocation of PPE, and that includes masks for students, disinfectant, and fobbers.
Cool. So basically they're buying equipments.
Correct.
So, we have various departments in our city. Do we have all the equipment necessary to function remotely due to this COVID? Or?
We have been working to ramp that up for everybody. There are, as the chief mentioned, even just in his purchases of PPE and the like, on the technology side, there's also delays. We have multiple purchases in and orders in that haven't been delivered yet. And I don't know if Ryan is available who can speak to that.
Yeah, what I'm suggesting is that there is some federal money out there that probably we could get to boost every department out there with their equipment or or computers or whatnot. So I think there is a chance that we should
Council-
apply for more money for our departments.
Councilman, before you continue, Madam DA, I was gonna ask a similar question, but let's just answer this question first, the one he just asked.
Sure, yep.
I don't
So,
want- I don't wanna hear, me as a councilman, that you're working on, I wanna know at the end of the day, right? You might have some stuff in back order. At the end of the day, do everyone in the city that's able to perform their job from home, do they have a laptop? Or are we in the process of ordering laptops?
we are in the process of ordering laptops. Some of them have not come in.
Hold on.
And not every, I can't say that every single individual in the city has the ability to work from home. I can't say that. What I can say,
Madam DA, and this is why sometimes we lose a little patience. I was specific, I said the people that are able to perform their job from home. I'm not telling you that everyone in the city, like DPW, recycling cannot perform their job from a computer.
right,
Question was specific, and sometimes we appreciate a straight answer without dragging. So my question is, at the end of the day, everyone that's able to perform their function from a computer, right? They can work from home. Have we purchased or ordered this equipment? At the end of the day, is everybody's gonna have a computer? Everyone that's able to work from home is gonna be able to have a computer?
I don't know if that's gonna happen. Only because and let me explain, if you can let me explain. Number one, we have orders for people that we know that they can work from home, and they have not been delivered yet. So that's the first thing, and we don't know if that's gonna come in time or that they can confirm it, and we have it in time for this month.
I'm saying is, have they been ordered? Is the question.
The second piece, the one that was brought to my attention this week was that the municipal court has some employees who could work from home the order was never placed. So I'm not saying that we didn't ask, because at all of our cabinet meetings, we made it very clear to all of our departments, but it might have been that they were thinking, a lot about what the Superior Court was doing, and the thought process wasn't there. We're working to try to get whether it's some of our desktops that we have, to them so that they can set up at home and that they can work.
Yeah, but this is the frustration we have, right? We had over $8 million. Listen to this. We had over $8 million. We often spoke about getting all the equipment necessary in the city. So it all comes down to poor planning. So now we're ordering, hold on a minute. Now we're ordering, I was in favor of we getting at least additional funding from the county to help a school district, because, instead of other municipalities getting it, why we can't get it ourselves? But we have to take care of our needs as a city first. What I mean as a city, as an entity, right? And then we should have taken care of the school district. Why we didn't use some of this 8-point-something million that we were given, right? To order the stuff at the beginning, right?
Council President, if I could speak, if you look at the numbers that we set, and we've been setting this all along, we have over $400,000 that we actually have ordered in technology. So we are very clear about we have been doing it. This is the one final piece of the puzzle that I found out about this week that I am disappointed in, because it is something that we would have tried to order that a little earlier to try to get it in.
So I'm gonna apologize to Councilman Kalik, because I actually interjected. I'm gonna get my opportunity also to speak. So Councilman Kalik, are you still there? I don't know if he's there, but yeah, I just wanted to, I'm sure he has other questions, but who was after Kalik? Because I'm gonna, also supposed to speak later on. So who was next?
I'm just quick.
All right, so,
I'm last.
okay, so let's do, Councilwoman Mims, Khan, and Velez, and then I can speak, I guess.
So I just quickly, I know we keep saying 3.7, so council members, it's not 3.7, it's 3.8. The total to the school district is $3,782,306. that is 3.8 million. So I wanted to make sure we have the right dollar amounts. 400, they're Promethean boards, which are smart boards. I'm not sure if that's a wish list for the school district. Are all teachers trained to utilize smart boards? How many smart boards are currently in the school district? Are these items that are being allocated for the school district, are they wish list items? Are these items that they will need when the school reopens at whatever time? Because currently in the school district, there are some smart boards in some of the classrooms, but some of the teachers, I'm not sure if they're trained to utilize them or not, whatever that looks like. But to me, some of these items, some as far as the disinfectant program, the cameras, some of that, the Chromebook, some of that stuff, to me, is stuff that's probably needed. I thought, or was under the assumption, that all kids receive Chromebooks. So I see 600 more Chromebooks that are here, but the 400 Promethean boards, which is the bulk of this 3.8 million, is $2 million for the 400 Promethean boards, which are the whiteboards. And I'm not really sure if that's, I believe more so it's a wish list item. I'm not really sure because I don't see the details as to how it was allocated and all that. So I just wanted to put that on record to all of you. I'm a former school board member and council president. I'm sure you can attest to it as well. So I'm just really shocked to see the numbers and the breakdown, especially 400 Promethean boards at $2 million or $2.1 million out of the 3.8. It, to me, is more of a wish list item. Is it great? Yes. It's for technology. It helps you to teach your class when it comes to pedagogy, which is a great piece of it, but it's more of a let's advance in technology when schools currently are closed. So I just wanted to put that on the record for the council members. Thank you, Council President.
Councilwoman Cotton?
Thank you, Council President. This is for, our fire chief. Since he's, basically you are the person in charge of ordering everything that's needed. I know you had said that, you were going to, senior buildings that were private senior buildings. I just want to know, are you keeping a list of the buildings that you're going to, or whoever's going to these buildings? Because I have about 5 or 6 of them that are private, and nothing to do with housing authority, that are in my ward. And I know I do get calls from them that they need masks, they need soap, some of the things. My next question is for the city departments, for every department here in the city that needs it. I mean, they can just call the fire department or call one of your chiefs to get whatever they need, and you will deliver. Because I know I have called you for some senior buildings, and your chief or your deputy chief had delivered them, to me, so I can deliver them to that. So, only thing someone needs to do, chief, is to call your office, right? I'm saying one of the departments that work for the city, that's all they need to do, right? If they need sanitizer, if they need masks, if they need disinfectant, that's all they need to do, right?
Yes, but we don't work by telephone. We work by email. The reason we work by email is so we take that and we can track it. We print it out, put it into the book.
Right.
And so question number 1 are we keeping track of the buildings that we're going to?
Right.
Yes, we keep track of the buildings that we're going to and the exact amount of equipment that went out to them, and we give an acknowledgement of receipt. They have to sign for what they received, and it goes in a book, so we have an audit trail.
Okay.
The second question, anybody within the city that in any division that requires anything, they send an email to 3 people. They send it to Troy Ayers, Jonathan Candello, our logistics captain, Jonathan Forbes, a logistics assistant to him, and Deputy Chief William Bucher, the Chief of Operations for the department.
Right.
Captain Candello is in charge of monitoring every single email that comes through. If he's off, firefighter Forbes does it, and then Chief Bucher monitors every single one. So if they send those emails, we check it up, we box it, we bring it out, we do an acknowledgement of receipt with the exact amount that everybody is receiving, and then we put it in the book.
Right. Okay.
And we do that with the acknowledgement, and so we know what they're getting and when they're getting.
Okay, and so for the next one, I know that were you the one Chief, were you the one, working with the school district when you started ordering these things that the school district needed? Were you the lead person on that?
The OEM coordinator, Troy Ayers, was, and unfortunately, he's sick right now, so.
Oh, okay.
But he kept me informed the entire time of what he was doing. And
Right.
basically, I can say that what they were asking for, they had projected that these were needs to ensure a good hybrid learning environment for their
Right.
students. And he worked in conjunction with one of their main people there in order to get this stuff assembled. And this was, their request, and it seemed like I mean, they're the educators, not me. It seemed like they justified what they needed pretty well.
Well, I remember going into international high school and I saw those smart boards. So, and then when I went to Eastside High School, they didn't have as many as international high school had. So, I know that those smart boards, I was like amazed. When I sat down and one of the teachers was demonstrating how it works and everything, which I think is amazing. And this is like 4 or 5 years ago, so I knew that we weren't up. The school district was not up to par where it should have been 4 or 5 years ago with smart boards that like other districts were. So my next question for you is that you really are the chief. You really are the chief person in charge of ordering all the supplies and things that we need for like the face mask, surgical. You're saying that we're all caught up. Are we still testing at Eastside High School in Kennedy?
Yes, we test at Eastside and Kennedy, or the fast med urgent care tests at Eastside, Kennedy, and they also test over at Barnard Hospital. We also have St. Joe's does testing over on by their paramedic building on Strait and Getty. There's a South Paterson, Dr. Kell that's doing testing, and then of course our Dr. Prasad does 5 days, I believe it's 5 days a week. He does 2 different sites a day at 4-hour blocks. And I know the fire department, police department, health department, combined through OEM, are all working very well to get the signboards out, the lights out, heat. Health brings out their van. We repaired their van and cleaned it up for them. There's a lot of real good teamwork going on to get that done, and they've been rolling around the city pretty well. It appears to me like we're probably doing. I know Troy Ayers has the numbers, and I can get them to you on the more of the tests that are being performed, but it's got to be in the realm of 500 tests a day.
Okay, because there were some rumors out there, and maybe you can answer it. They say that they weren't delivering as many tests as they were like 2 months ago. So is that true? Like they done cut back down on how many tests that they're giving to each city? They can give us 1,000 or 500. Is that true? That they cut back on the amount they sent to the cities now?
Honestly, that's something I don't know, and that would have to go through Dr. Prasad.
Okay.
Maybe the BA is aware of something with Dr.
Yes, Councilwoman Khan, I do know on that, the only limit is on the mobile testing, and it's being limited to like about 150 a day. But the FastMed and all of those, I think, because they might be working with different vendors for different labs, is our relationship with LabCorp that had that limit on just for our daily usage.
Oh, so we do, okay, so in other words, then we really couldn't find another, if LabCorp was limiting us to 150 a day, we couldn't really find a supplier?
I don't believe at this point.
Okay, all right, and the last thing for the fire chief, because there were some rumors out there that some of the departments in here in the city of Paterson couldn't get no supplies what they needed, so I'm gonna let them know that that's not true, that they need to just contact by email, one of these people, that they can get the stuff that they need.
Yeah.
But I just wanna make it a point to Chief, when I spoke to Barbara with community development, and I remember Councilman President, you had stated to her, remember when the percentage of the money was kept part of remember the grant money they got for the COVID money, they kept like 25%, it went from 10% to 25%, for, they call it expense money. The purpose of that expense money was for for the Department of Community Development to buy equipment like they need, the computers, the laptops, the different stuff. But it's only for a short period of time. Like they didn't do it, they're only doing it for this COVID. So after this COVID, hopefully it's over one of these days, that it will be over, then they will go back to the amount they normally would allow them to use. But they expect these departments like community development to buy equipment that they need because they could not work in contact with people. They needed to do everything
Remote.
done by computer. So of course the community development needed a lot of laptops and all that to do what they needed to do to get some of the services out they needed to get. So Chief, I'm gonna make sure that just have Troy. Just have Troy. Why are you shaking your head?
No, that, no, we could always come back and ask other questions, but
Okay, no, I'm finished. Don't shake your head, please. All right. So, Chief, I will come back. Just have Troy send me that stuff. That's all.
Sure, and just one statement for the city workers. If anybody has not gotten gear, that's because they did not follow the process.
Okay.
We have to have processes in place for people to follow so that we can have accountability. Calling my office or calling me direct or calling somebody direct is not the process, and every single director has been advised of that. So if any worker says that they didn't get it, don't look at me. I have all the emails. I'm only working by email with that because I don't want that to start that way. I'm a very good documenter. As the BA, I have 4-inch binders out the wazoo right now.
I know you are. And I gotta say to you, Chief, you really run a tight ship. I like how you do things. You really, you have everything in order all the time, no matter when I call you, whatever you do, you always have stuff in order. And I truly just say I appreciate you being that way. So thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Next,
Councilman Velez.
unless Men's is gonna be short, I don't know.
Who was that? Did you speak already, Councilman Mims?
Yes,
Okay.
just in case you wanna be short, that's okay, I will give her a second.
Okay, I'll be short.
Go ahead, a second.
No, I'm sorry, I'll be short.
Council President.
Just a question, when it comes to, in totality, the 8.5, now this 5.2, $13.7 million. When it comes to our capital improvement budget, which we're gonna be going into that process soon for our department, and when it comes to some of the revitalization of the parks, we've been bonding for some of that. Have we thought about, I can say we haven't because 8.5 is already gone and this is already allocated, but with the plans, we have small business owners that are suffering in our community. We have the bonding of doing some of the revitalization of parks, some of the equipment needs that we have in the city. Because I just want to know, what is the plan? And did we take any of that into consideration? I see in other municipalities where they put a plan together for small business owners, and some of their money was utilized to help some of the small business owners to avoid them from losing their business. I haven't seen or heard any of that from this administration. So I would like to know, because at this point, this 13.7 is already allocated. And I didn't see any of that, or what was the thought realm that was put into the 8.5 and now another 5.2, where out of the 5.2, 3.8 is going to the school district. The other remainder has different things, PPE, different things are allocated that you sent to me today because I called for the information. But I just want to know, what is the plan? I heard we have like 6 to 8 months worth of stuff. I don't know what the number of people that includes. I know the time frame, but how many people can receive all of that stuff within 6 to 8 months? Is it 500? Is it 100,000 people? Is it 500,000 where we can give them 5 times over? All of that stuff needs to be identified. I don't know if you have it available for tonight because we're voting on it tonight. But all of that stuff is very critical when we just had 8.5 and that's gone. And now we're being presented tonight to vote on 5.2. And there's already a press conference for tomorrow to announce that they got it. And we haven't even voted on it yet. So I'm just presenting it tonight. So I'm just putting it on the record because when I saw these numbers today, I was floored. at how it's already being allocated, and there was no discussion tonight with the council. So I just want to put on the floor, I want to be quick, Councilman Velez, so thank you, and I'll wait for my super ice cream later, thanks.
Thank you, Council President. Council Mims, I gave you a second just to answer the question. You could forward your emails, we'll respond. Just kidding. Listen, and you said it right, $13,740,000, 739 have been already put. The difference is, and I don't know if you could agree with me on this, the difference is that the COVID-19 caught us with the pants down, with no money, caught us with challenges, and the money came even when we didn't even know how to manage this pandemic. Now, yes, sir, let me elaborate, please. Can I elaborate, Council President, please?
Sure.
So my question goes, and now we go 13 million to 740 already. And I should write a memorandum to the county, but if the administration could do me that favor to find out of the 16 municipalities, how many money they have granted to those other municipalities. I would like to see the numbers in those municipalities and compare it, how much we have received from that total of care fund that they received. I forgot the number was care fund that the county received. 87 million, and how much will be available from the 87 million? That will be a question, because I was reading here on the contract, on the resolution and number 8, I believe it is, that if we are going to run out of this money, that you got 30 days before you ran out to put another application to see if you could get more funding, not exceeding the amount that we already received, 5 million and change on this case. One of the things is that, Council President, that you really did good today is that you started with number 8 in the agenda, and they spoke about all the items on it, so it will be easy to vote on it after we move on this one. But I'm interested to know how much money the county have come forward to other municipalities out of the 15 remaining municipalities that we have in the city of Paterson. And council, we have to understand that what we're doing tonight, all this resolution, number 1 to number 7, okay, is preparing our field to see if this city could go back to normal on the school district. This is a testament, I could say a testament or a test, that when we speak about returning to local control, you imagine when the school district is managed local control, how much money we have to get to be able to sustain the budget of the school district and their needs. So this will send and represent a team effort, a we effort, not a me effort, that what we're giving now to the school district is going to those little ones. Remember, those parents are struggling at home with those kids. Schools have to go back to normal. And if they don't have, and if the state did not step forward to bail out the school district or the superintendent of schools in our city, at least Paterson is stepping up to the plate and watching for our sister agency, the Board of Education, and it's all our kids from schools. It's all our teachers that comes and educate our kids in school. So I don't feel no remorse in voting in these items today. Trust me, I'm excited to see that we are preparing ourselves before going into the war. We are fighting the war of COVID before going into it in the second wave, and praying that we come out victorious like we did in the first one. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you. I believe Councilman Jackson, you asked for the floor? Yes, I'm taking the floor then.
Did you call me, Council President?
Yeah, I think you tried to ask for the floor before, right?
I did, yes.
Go ahead, you can speak it.
Thank you. Chief, I have a question, with regard to the testing. Did I hear you comment that we're still utilizing a third-party, company to provide testing at Kennedy and Eastside high schools?
Yes, that still exists. That's the agreement that we had between the school district, FastMed, and the city, where they are going on site, providing tests, and they are billing through CARES. We are not getting billed at all. They've been providing, actually, we're to the point that we're not even supporting their operation. They're doing it themselves. They provide the tests, and they provide the responses back to the citizens. There's 3 different sites that they operate at, 2 of which require a MOA between the school and the city, so that they can operate. That's the same existing MOA that we used a while ago.
And are we doing an evaluation of their performance evaluation of the job that they've been providing relative to testing at those sites?
Yeah, so as best we can, the biggest thing that we're doing with them is collecting numbers to see what they're testing, just how many people they're testing per day, and we keep the statistics and send them out to Harsha every Thursday, so that he can see what testing is going on within the city. We keep track with that. As far as quality control testing with it, not so much because of HIPAA. We don't have access to that. You know, I got 1 complaint so far last week. I haven't been receiving any. I got 1 that somebody could not get through and get their tests and work to get their results for them, or get them access to get the results. I can't get them. But I take the quality control as it relates to them is, am I receiving complaints and phone calls on it? And I have not been.
So I'll just say this, relative to the money being allowed to be spent. I can't speak clearly on what the exact complaints were. I've gotten a number of different concerns from community members, but I can speak on my personal experiences. There was a stark difference between the tests that the county was rendering and what we were doing locally. I went to one of the sites and there were actually only 2 people there. One young lady was sitting down to have lunch, and the other one was struggling to administer the test to a very, very small line. Every time I went to the county, they had a number of different people there, and it was extremely professional and the line was moved rapidly. I also want to say that I take my hat off to Dr. Broussard and his team for the job that they've done. And I want to make another reference to the fact that very early, when we had our first and only Board of Health Commission meeting, we talked about doing our tests locally and allowing our staff to do the job that under Dr. Broussard's guidance. And I have to say, and I'm hoping that we, not to say that the job that you do is not sufficient, but I think we should have an evaluation process, because we're allowing third-party companies to make money off of the COVID allowance. That's money that we can keep home, render a better service, and make sure that that we put our local residents to work. And lastly, I want to say this, and I don't know, Chief, if it falls under your purview, and if you're overseeing some of the testing, but I read the article in which the employee of the city got into a fist fight with someone, and I think that, if we have the funding available and they're rendering the service, when the county was rendering the service, they had their county officers on site. I think we're asking for our employees to deal with issues and we're forcing them in a position to mandate rules and regulations, and we're leaving them unprotected from the aspect of whether or not there can be some disgruntled customers because of the anxiety of this pandemic. So we have the additional funds there. I think they should be utilized. I think it would have been much better service to support Dr. Fassard more and render potential security for him as well, as opposed to an arrangement with a third party agency that obviously we don't have the type of oversight, just from a quality control perspective, and making sure that the residents are getting the absolute best quality of service. That's just my perspective. I wanted to put that on record and give you my feedback, Chief.
Thank you, Councilman Jackson. Councilman Mendes? You're on mute.
My apologies. The question that I have for the site that we have for the private site at Kennedy in high school is this. What is the time window that they have to give back the result to the patient? Because I just have a complaint about a site at Kennedy High School. This was a while, I would say a couple of weeks ago, about some people that they went to that site and it was very difficult for them to get the result. So I was waiting to ask you this question since I know that those two sites are private, and I see that more and more people are attending to the Board of Health, site, since he have two in the morning, in the afternoon in different sections of the city, but they attending more to those sites that Kennedy High School. Do you know the time window when they should give the result to the patient?
So the time window depends on how busy the labs are, and this is actually a nationwide crisis. When you do the nasal swab test, it can take anywhere up from 3 to 5 days. For the most part, if there is a positive result, they generally will get that in 24 to 48 hours because a positive result shows more quickly on the test. As far as them getting access, when they're on the site, they're given the phone number to call and they're given the web portal to go on. I'll double check, and as I agree with Councilman Jackson. I'll talk to my staff. I'll talk to Dr. Afanja, who runs the FastMed, and we'll work on a little better with the quality control. But understand, I'm at about 35 positive COVID people, some of which are on my staff. So we're doing a lot with a little. As far as it comes with FastMed, doing that, there is zero cost to the city, and it does not come out of the city's allocation, which is huge. Even they test those that are uninsured, they test them, and we do not see anything. It does not come out of Paterson Cares. It comes out of the private cares for private doctors who have pretty much unlimited access to tests, which is why it's important to get general practitioners out there, because they can get as many tests as they want, where Dr. Paul, through health, he's getting fairly handcuffed and limited, and it's not his fault. He's doing a fantastic job out there, really. So getting this, as far as how long it takes, generally it could be 3 to 5 days, dependent on how busy. I mean, now everybody's testing. There's only like 3 different labs that actually do these tests for the nasal swab test.
Correct.
So they have to go to LabCorp, or I forgot the other 2.
So you were in charge of monitor these 2 entities to make sure, see how they're gonna get compensated based on the amount of testing that they do, both Eastside and Kennedy.
So we don't oversee how they're compensated. They do that completely separate from us. So people will provide their insurance and their license, and they will bill their insurance company, and the people come and see no bill. If they're uninsured and they state they're uninsured, they do not see a bill. They don't have to pay right there. They don't. That gets billed. They collect the information. that they provided a test to somebody, they submit it through the CARES, because the federal CARES has a separate allocation for private doctors. It's separate and distinct from our county CARES. They have a separate pot just for them to do testing. That's Dr. Raquel and South Paterson could do that. Like, so there's ways that they can do it. St. Joe's does not have access to that funding, right? Because they're not a private doctor. So the private doctors have that advantage. They can get their practices going with the testing. So we do I have a firefighter, Tyrone Joyner, that will go around and take a peek at these at the sites. But you know, he's juggling a lot of things. I will speak with Dr. Raquel. I'll get more information on how they're proceeding. But so far, the complaints are not coming back to me or the OEM coordinator. I'm not seeing these mass complaints come out. And they're doing a solid 250 to 300 tests a day on the 3 sites total.
So, Councilman, do you have any other questions?
They're not, just if you chief, if you could follow up, because those are the complaints I received, and thank you for your.
I will be out tomorrow.
So I'm gonna make a statement, and my questions, I appreciate like a quick response. I don't want, prolong they're specific questions. So Chief, to your point, we can ask for more though, because I've taken probably 2 different tests in 2 different locations. The county gives it to you. I've probably taken 2 county tests, right? One back in probably May, and I took another one recently, and they give it to you. They say 1 to 2 days, I got it within a day, right? Even as long as I went on Saturday, and I got the result on Sunday.
Right.
Right? Also, or Monday, something like that. I think, was it Sunday or Monday? I kind
of believe that when you're a huge county entity that's doing hundreds and hundreds of tests, you have less competition. These private doctors are all competing with each other to get these tests done.
Okay, listen, but I understand. I went to a pharmacy also. They sent it out. I got an email also. I got it, I went at 7 o'clock at night. I got it before 1 p.m. the next day. So 4 or 5 days, all it does is discourage the people from going there. Then you're gonna have a heavy workload in the other places. Just so you know.
Let me get more information for you guys tomorrow. I'll get on it tomorrow.
If they cannot produce a quicker turnaround, then there's a potential people continue to spread the disease.
Understood.
This is specific questions, please. I don't want, you could elaborate a little bit. Let's not,
You got it.
So, Madam BA, have we reclassified the overtime for the overtime of the salary for the COVID expenses? Up to what point have we reclassified?
That would be a question for the CFO.
March.
Group team.
Marty, you around?
Hello?
Yes.
What is the question?
Have we reclassified? To what point have we reclassified salaries and and overtime to?
We have reclassified everything as of June 30th to the grant, and everything now so far. So Javier's been doing that.
Okay, so we're up to date.
Yes.
Why are we so behind on the billing? Madam VA.
Some of it is because the majority is payroll, and what we've needed to give to the county has changed multiple times. So we're now providing kind of the 3rd iteration of backup. In particular, we have provided them all the backup per the payroll. Now they want it per individual. So we're going through, and the payroll team is scanning one person's information, and that alone creating a PDF. So it's a lot of this manual labor that it's just going in small batches now.
So what is the company that we hired to do? What are they actually doing? You're getting your staff put together, which I knew that from the beginning.
Right.
Staff put all the information together, then they just verify that whatever they're doing is accurate.
Yeah, and then they do the same thing for a lot of the expenses, reviewing it. It's a lot of the back and forth, with N&W, who's the counties. They're the ones kind of communicating with them and reviewing everything.
Thank you. So right now, we're allocating, we asked this county for additional funding to give to the school district, most of it. Have we taken care of all our COVID needs? I know you stated that there was one department that didn't submit their request. Now, we need to hold that department accountable because that department head or whoever dropped the ball, because if there's a need there and they close that department, what are we gonna do? Are we gonna pay at a local taxpayer's money to take care of those needs for those people to work from home? How are we handling that situation?
I think what we're doing now and what our intent is now is this rotational plan. And so there are going to be people working in the office. And so the work of the court has continued, but that means that some people are able to work from home, but not everyone might be able to work from home.
Cool.
So it's a different schedule for that department.
So your answer is yes to the question, have we taken care of over all of our COVID needs when we talk about being equipped to handle a closure?
I believe we have, except for the small exception of, and knowing that there still are some delays in equipment.
So who's disinfecting our buildings?
Do you mean like, in addition to our facility staff?
If there's someone that came out positive, who is going to disinfect the buildings?
At this time, we've had some of the OEM coordinators on from the police side who were fit tested with the machines to do it. I know that also, I was just talking to one of our facility staff here today, saying that he was going to get fit tested so that he could start doing city hall and all of that. That was delayed when, that was the intention a couple weeks ago, but when there was some facility staff out, he wasn't able to go.
So why can't the people that handles, do the buildings, they clean the building, why can't, and I don't mean the regular, why can't the director, for example, I've seen it done in the county, I've seen the guy in charge of the buildings go himself and use the defogger to clean the, so Councilman Velez last time had an issue, we having the police go over and earning overtime at the rate that they're earning. So have you addressed that yet?
We are, that's what we're trying to address now. But it's beyond just the guy doing it, but it's this fit testing of the material. Maybe Chief McDermott can speak to this, I don't know how much he knows.
But the funding is gonna be gone already. So what's the purpose, what are we addressing?
We're addressing being able to do it going forward so that it's in-house for the facilities.
Council President,
I still haven't finished. I waited 40 minutes for you to finish. Just give me a minute.
correct.
Chief.
Council President, I can answer that. So we have, fire department is decontaminating fire department facilities. The police department is decontaminating his own facilities. DPW are doing city facilities, but all of the ones that were geared to do it were quarantined and or COVID positive. They are back. Today, they are, so they were getting help from the police OEM deputy coordinator to help them out. There is, we just certified, we did face fit testing for 5 DPW people. We gave them respirators, a mask, because we don't want to put them in a situation where they're going to be in a fog and come out with some sort of environmental cancer. So now they're ready to go, and we got their backpack sprayers, and they're ready to go.
Thank you. Do we have enough foggers in the city?
Yes, we do.
Okay. Madam Clerk,
Yes, sir.
do you put in your request for your staff to get laptops?
Yes, that was done since September. IT had informed me that the supplies were still delayed. I did.
Do you order for all your staff?
Yes, I did, yes, but there's a delay on there's a shortage on the delivery. Yeah.
Thank you. Chief, FEMA. Have we built anything to FEMA yet?
I think that we can answer that ask that to the BA or CFO, but I know all of the overtime is going through FEMA.
Wait.
Well, Madam BA can answer that better.
So we're billing overtime to FEMA and to the county?
Yes, both. So the majority, the first round of overtime that we submitted was about 1.2 million to FEMA. That has been submitted from August. That was some of the early, kind of last year, the spring wave. And we haven't had any real movement on that in terms of reimbursements. So some of that, and then up until September 15th, the FEMA rules changed and only public safety can be put in through FEMA. So some of the overtime is.
Madam Mayor, but this is why I get frustrated sometimes. I wish we could bring back the videos. We had county monies, right? We had $8 million that you were eligible to build it for this money.
Mhm.
You decided to build FEMA. What happens if FEMA says no? What happens? We have to absorb it?
It's unlike let's kind of be clear this, no, because I think I don't like dealing in hypotheticals because FEMA is not necessarily going to say no. It's just that it has been delayed. That's why we had our consultants here, our consultants does submit.
NBA, do they cover 100%?
They cover 75% and we're covering the other 25% in the CARES.
Through where are you gonna cover the 25%?
We're allowed to allocate part of the CARES dollars to make ourselves whole.
But how can you allocate 25% if you still don't know that they're gonna pay you 75?
But that's how the process works, that you hold on to part of it, saying like, here's the reimbursements once it comes through FEMA.
And I hate to say, I told you so, but remember when we first got this money from the county it even came out in a newspaper where the county said that as soon as you finish your money, you can request for more. You recall it? And I said,
that's what we did.
The chief was here when I was going back and forth with you, and I said, why even bother with FEMA if right now you have $8 million and you're able to ask for more? Why even bother to build FEMA? I recall saying this.
Mm-hmm. I think because Council President, we wanted to maximize all our available outlets. If we say we have money that we're asking for from the county, then this is a 1.2 million in addition to that. We will be using the money. We're not going to run out of.
The thing is that we could have gotten, if we would have ran out of the county money, let's say in August, we could have asked for more money from the county in August, right? If we actually spend the money. And that's an expenditure. Why? Because salaries get paid right away. Then you put it to the county and say, look, I have an expense. We spent $5 million in salaries and overtime. We spent the $8 million in salary and overtime. Could we get another 5 because we need to buy equipment? So again, we don't need to take the dead horse. But again, I don't understand why we have to build FEMA when we had county movies. That's just one leave it at that.
Because we wanted to maximize, we knew that FEMA would allow for certain things and it wouldn't allow for other things. We wanted to maximize, FEMA does overtime, it doesn't do redeployed.
So Marge,
We knew that we had quite a lot of redeployed we wanted to do.
So Marge, I have a question for the CFO. Marge? I guess she's not around. So my question is now, the $1.75 million that we built FEMA, that's currently laying right now within our budget. Is that correct?
It's about 1.2 million, and that was a lot that was incurred in fiscal year in F20.
Correct, but it was charged to the budget.
Sorry, I missed that.
So to that point also, that also affects us financially. When you close the books, if you have that money, basically we're having a receivable in that account. It doesn't help us with the surplus, let's say. That money that we bill FEMA, right? We don't have a grant right now to offset it.
Yeah.
So right now it's stuck in the budget. Now, if we would have charged, like I stated from the beginning, if we would have charged the COVID money from the county, we could have reclassified that expense. Right away, we could have reclassified it. But you know what? I'll leave it at that. That's part of my frustration sometimes. Could we continue with the vote now, Madam Clerk?
Yes, Mr. President. We are voting on item number 8.
Council President, you want me to say myself on my vote?
Councilman Velez, you spoke already.
No, okay, but you said hold on 1 minute because I had something about the fogger thing.
We have all the items. It's already 10:15. We started like at 9, and we still on the same item.
Oh, okay, okay.
We have all the items.
Yes, Mr. President, and there was a motion on the floor by Councilman Velez and a second by Councilman Mendez. Roll call number, item number 8 for approval. Councilman Abdelaziz. Councilwoman Khan.
And where is Councilman? Did he tell you anything, Council President?
Oh, don't worry, we miss him anyway.
You never logged into the regular meeting. To the special meeting.
He did what?
You
You
never
never lied.
Oh, he never left in?
not to this meeting. He was in the other.
Okay, okay, now what we on now? Tell me what we on. We are number 8, right?
Yes, ma'am. The one for $5,210,000.
Okay, to accept okay, this vote is to accept the $5 million from the county. Is that what this vote is for?
Yes.
Yes, it is. Madam Clerk,
Yes,
my vote is yes.
thank you.
Badly. Madam Clerk, my vote is yes.
Thank you, Councilwoman. And no Councilwoman Dowd is out sick, so. Councilman Jackson?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Councilman. Councilman Khalid?
Yes, Madam Clerk.
Oh, thank you. Councilman Mendez?
Yes, I'm here, Madam Clerk. Before my vote, I know the chief is, I don't know if the chief is still with us. And we have got more items, but I will be brief about what my comment. I received a phone call, Chief, today about a person that in a place where he worked, there was multiple people infected with COVID-19. And he called me because they refused to give them enough face mask and glove, and they're not practicing social distancing on a place, on the factory that he's working. He called me this afternoon. I was waiting to have a conversation with somebody, but I'm gonna put it out there publicly. That way, if you have any advice to any person in the community that is going through this situation, I would love to hear from you. So I was trying to follow up tomorrow with a phone call, the health department to you, but since you have the information and you want to make a comment to the public to make sure that they know what to do, I'll appreciate it. My vote is yes, Madam Clerk.
Thank you, sir. Councilman Mintz?
Yes, Madam Clerk.
Thank you. Councilman Velez?
Yes.
Mr. President?
This should have been the easiest vote for me since I've been on the council. But the crazy thing is that imagine if this money we're asking for, we could have asked for the money to pay for this $1.2 million that would build FEMA. This is just like, this should have been the easiest vote ever. But you know what? People that are watching at home, they will never understand it. I'm gonna vote yes, but Madam BA, I want a status of the FEMA funding. I want you guys to reach out to them. You built them months ago, they still haven't responded. This is, I'm very concerned with that. Very.
What's your vote?
Voted yes already.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. May I continue, Mr. President?
Yes.
Yes. The vote is 7 in favor, 2 absent. Item number 8 is hereby adopted. Mr. President, do you want to take the public portion? Is that what you said earlier?
No, we're gonna take it at the end, I said. Let's continue.
Okay, all right. So continue with item number 1.
Yes.
Yes.
Next item is special meeting agenda. Item number 1. Item number 1 reads resolution authorizing special item of revenue and appropriation, the State County sub-grant of federal COVID-19 funds, CARES Act, additional funding, finance resolution 2665.
So move.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Velez, second by Councilman Mintz, correct?
Yes.
Mr. President?
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Yes, sir. Roll call on item number 1 for approval. Councilwoman Khan?
Yes.
Councilman Jackson?
Yes.
Thank you. Councilman Khalid?
Yes.
Councilman Mendez,
Yes.
Councilman Mims,
Yes.
Councilman Glass,
You know, I just have to say that, we started with this pandemic with zero, without knowing where we could cover these funds. Thank you for the city, county, and those and people that have seen us with goodwill, and getting this fund to us. But especially I want to thank the first responder, the fire, police, EMS, DPW worker, those final score service in our city, because, you know, without the real compensation, they're still out there sacrificing their life. And at least we're preparing ourselves to go to the second round and the war, fighting the war before going into it. And we're already into it, so hopefully we could be there again. So my vote is yes.
thank you, Mr. President.
Yes.
The vote is 7 in favor, 2 absent. Item number 1 is hereby adopted. Next item is item number 2, and item number 2 reads, resolution authorizing the award of contract to D&D Service Group LLC for the furnishing and installation of GPS bipolar ionization on all HVAC units and all city buildings, and installation of 7 standalone 5,000 CFM air handlers at all firehouses under UNA Partners, formerly U.S. Community Contract Number R200-401, Fire Resolution 2666.
So move.
Second.
Question, yes.
By Councilman, second by Councilman Mims, correct?
So,
Yes,
yes. Chief, I have a question, Chief.
I got one too.
What exactly is this?
So what this is, these are air handling units that air goes through. It actually ionizes or zaps the air with UV light, and it cleans the viruses and bacteria out of the air and recirculates it back in. So it takes place in traditional filters and things like that, where it's actually killing virus as it comes through. So this will help to clean the air. This was a charge led by Director Rodriguez and Harry and myself to kind of find out, get City Hall where the air quality can be better. And I don't think, it still doesn't take air that somebody expels next to you and thinking, I'm sorry, Council President, I'm very wordy.
No, but it's not even that. It's just getting me how every time, I would appreciate more if when the council addresses the administration, it's best if I'm told, let me look into it, and I get an answer for you, if you don't have the answer. We were told, I inquired about having this done actually in the council chambers. And we were told that they could not do it. I don't know about some of my council colleagues remember. Do you guys recall this or not?
I could recall that the word they're gonna go into investigate because the social system of the unit that was on the roof, it was totally different, something like that. You have to check.
Councilman, this conversation we had maybe back before the fiscal year ended, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was told that this could not be done. This was not because we had some old ventilation system. You recall, Councilman?
I recall that about the old ventilation. That's what I'm talking about.
I remember that, Council President.
That's what I'm saying.
Now, they couldn't do it with the original $8 million. Again, they couldn't do it with the original $8 million. All of a sudden now, we're in December, right? This is probably gonna get done, I don't know when, but now, all of a sudden, now it could be done.
Well, Council President, not for nothing, but if you look at the first wave of the pandemic, there was some priorities first, and being the council over there saying, you said it yourself, you don't want to go back.
Councilman, let's not justify, because the county, in every newspaper stated that as soon as we finish the money, we could ask for more, right? They were all getting all this equipment. I was the one who suggested to get those, because I worked there and I probably had these heat sensors in every entrance in the county. I said, how come we don't have this here? They had all this plexiglass all over. I said, well, how come we don't have this here? So all I'm saying is, Councilman, You know what, I already said it, I'm not even gonna say it.
Council President, where is the money coming from?
Yeah, that was my question.
This is county money, but they're using now new money that they're getting from the county, which they could have done anytime during the year. So they could have done this back in May when I asked, right? They could have done it before, and whenever they run out of money, they could have asked for a second allotment from the county.
Council President, you better clarify that. This is not county money, this is care money that coming through the county.
County, we send the bill to the county.
Yeah, but you make it believe that the money's coming from the coffee from the county. It's not. It's care money coming to the county.
Listen, everyone that has been in this discussion, Councilman, for the past year, we know what we were referring to, right? Let's not play, let me choose my words, because you're acting right now like I'm trying to misinform the public. No. Never
I'm not saying that.
the county's coffers. This is part of the $87 million that the county got to allocate to themselves and the other municipalities.
That's what I'm talking
We
about.
were allocated $8 million from the beginning, 8-point-something million dollars, right? We were told, and it was all over the newspapers, that as soon as we spend this money, that we're able to apply for more, because they only allocated out of the 87, they allocated 29 million and distributed to the 60 municipalities. 29 was the first round, right? You could have gone for more. The city didn't finish spending its money until recently, and that's why we're asking for all this stuff now. But this could have been done before, is what I'm saying.
Right.
Madam BA.
I'd just like to clarify, Council President, that this is actually part of our original allocation. So this is something that is part of our 8.5 million. And I would like to.
What's the 5.2?
That is going, remember that the big chunk is going to the city, to the school district, and then some of ours is covering additional payroll expenses.
So even worse, this is part of the 8-point-something. How come this wasn't done before?
Well, there are various phases of this. The very first phase, and Troy, who is not here tonight, our OEM coordinator, was part of the first outreach, and that's when he said that the solution that was found at that point in time, the early solution in the early wave, wasn't something that would be useful for all of our buildings, including City Hall. And so he said, I'm gonna look into this further, we're gonna explore other companies, etc. And then they had some companies come in, they actually did this full look at all of these buildings, they visited these buildings, they put this quote together, presented it to us.
Council President.
So President, wait.
Hold on a minute. So Councilman Mendes? No, hold on a minute. Councilman Khalid, you had your hand up?
Yeah, but I asked my question already. The money is coming from the county. Well, I asked the question, where is the money coming from? So I think it's better to be late than never, so, we should just.
Yeah, I understand that, but it's just frustrating that the situation is better in this.
It's frustrating for years.
Yeah. Councilman Mendes and then Councilman Velez.
So I see that with the 452,955 that we allocated, so we have 22 buildings, 22 city buildings, starting with 155 my district to the city hall. What will be the challenges that you will be facing with this project? You know, that a lot of our buildings, they are in different shape, and some of them are not in good shape. Is this feasible? You guys could do a study on those 22 buildings to know that it's gonna be, that you guys are gonna be able to do the installation of those buildings? Or how do you choose those 22 buildings?
So what happened was, and this is why it took very long to do, because it is a very old city, the DPW went around to every single building with multiple companies to find that some said they can't do it, and they found the one that said, here's what we can do. They assessed all the buildings, including the firehouses, and we're doing areas near the ambulances so that the air can be exchanged like good there. But the older city buildings, we had to get an attestment from them saying, this is what we can do. And some have wall air conditioners, and they had to put stuff on the air conditioners. Some have HVAC, they had to go into the HVAC. Some have newer systems, older systems. They had to go in and do a full assessment of every single building, which took a very long time to do. Then they had to gather, and then we had to go through the hoops of trying to find how to legally purchase from a company and get into a cooperative, which is coming on tonight as well, so we can purchase this stuff. And the challenges are, no matter what, in any construction, I did construction for many years too. In any construction, you're going to find obstacles, whether it's electric, retrofit, older buildings, things that you didn't realize were reinforced strong, inadequate electric, so there's going to be challenges that they may find. But when they went through it, they didn't seem to state that there were any challenges for them, for their systems. So, it was a very long process. I credit the DPW for really spearheading and getting out there and pushing with this company and getting out to the buildings. It was a lot of work to get that done. So there could be unanticipated challenges, but that's with any construction that you would ever have.
Okay, and that's Chief. That's my concern. We have a lot of buildings that are way over 100 years old. Paterson is one of the oldest cities in the nation. And so what I hear you saying that the outcome gotta be that you're gonna be able to, or the vendor you're gonna hire, they're gonna be able to install this system in those 22 buildings that they choose. So I'm very pleased to hear that. And what will be the deadline? Now that we approve it, now that we choose the 22 building, what will be the time window for this project to be done, to be concluded?
So we have to get things received, and we're setting up a staging area over at fire headquarters to receive all of the equipment. It's very important for us to get received and invoiced all of the equipment, which we will have prior to the end of the year. That's before January 1. We have to have that invoiced and paid out, right? So, or actually, I think we have until March to have them paid out, right, Madam DA? But we have to receive and invoice the equipment prior to that. So the equipment's going to come in, it's going to stage. We're going to have it staged and parceled out with the firehouse as the epicenter, so to speak. So that's where everything's going to be farmed out from. As far as installation, it has to be done prior to, I think is it March 30th, I believe? Everything has to be installed prior to then. Then, the way that I look at it is prioritize the city buildings like the City Hall, Board of Health, the areas that have very high traffic are the ones that are going to get prioritized, and that's the way I view it.
That was my next question, Chief, and you already answered about the priority of the building. You mentioned City Hall, the health department, and I just got, this is my last question. You say that the deadline is until March. So what you're saying is that once we install this system in those 22, in all those buildings, people are employees, they're going to be able to go back to work safe, actually practice social distancing and using the face mask, I'm assuming. Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Yeah, personally, I don't think anything makes you fully safe. You still, even with this system, you still have to practice social distancing. You still have to mask up. You still have to limit occupancy, and based on laws, of course, too, with the executive orders, we have to limit occupancy. There is no thing in this world, except if you go into a vacuum of space, that's going to capture the droplets that come out of your mouth if you're not masked or not masked properly. It still has to cycle through the room and go into the system and get filtered out. So it would make the room more sanitized, more safe than it would be currently now. But is it 100% foolproof safe? Absolutely not. It's air. It moves. Everything moves around us right now. So no, it's not 100%, but it's a significant improvement to air quality. And even going into the future, it's better for bacteria, mold, of course the coronavirus and whatever else may have you. But it will make it more safe than it is.
Thank you, Councilman. Thank you, Councilman. Councilman.
Yeah, thank you, Council President.
President.
Mr. Chief, Mr. Chief, so do you know the model of this bipolar machine? You know the model of it?
I do not off the top of my head.
Okay,
I'd have to defer to the DPW for doing the specs with it.
correct. So I went into my friend Google here and I noticed that I put the same, name and everything, GPS, bipolar, bipolar, whatever the name is here.
Bipolar ionization, yeah.
Ionization, and I saw the machine myself, and I'm just trying to figure out if my office has an AC, next door is another AC in the other room, another AC in the other room. So, unless they did an assessment to put one that will cover the whole city council, section area, that would be good. But I divide the amount of money allocated to this. This will give us, according to the price here for this one, that will give us only 503 units for the whole entire city. We good for it? If I go based on the amount of money that says here, okay, that's based on $899 per unit. If we are talking for the same model, 2400 model of the bipolar, whatever his name it is. But it's hard. I know Council President spoke about this. He didn't want to come to the council, but he didn't feel safe regarding the air and the old building, and I recall all that. But still, as you say, Mr. Chief, is that this will not even guarantee. We still have to use the watch our hands, watch our distance, and make sure that we wear our mask. And making sure. What was that?
Any other question, Councilman?
Oh, I think I did a question a long time ago regarding if he knows the model and this and that. I just elaborating.
Councilman, you repeated the thing he repeated.
Well, don't worry. Don't worry. At least I repeated, but I just want to make the record reflect that it's only 500. If I go with that model and that I just saw it, 503 units, that probably we're going to need more down the end. So, do you say, Chief, that even as here the specs say, here says as soon as is approved, they're only going to take 3 weeks to deliver and install?
Did you address that same question before in length?
I did, yeah.
Oh, so do I have the right to answer again? Oh.
Well, he could, but keep it brief because it's like we're going around the same question over and over and over.
Oh, no, that's okay, Council President. We've been doing it good in the on the budget hearing, so I want to keep it in the same way. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Howard.
All right, Councilman Jackson.
Thank you, Council President. So, Council President, to you specifically, I know if you recall, I tried to zone in on a lot of the specifics with regards to the COVID funding from the moment this thing began to unfold. And we can go down the line. I mean, our city has suffered greatly when it comes to when it comes to technology. Obviously, even to hear that the chief has to maintain records in the 4-inch binders, you should have all this stuff with the capacity to do it electronically so that the information could be passed along seamlessly and we can have access to it, right away. But more importantly, even with regard to City Hall, the technology now where you have thermal heat sensors that can detect whether or not someone has a fever coming into the building, that can help greatly. Our systems at City Hall have been antiquated for quite some time. In totality, I would have to say that, when we knew going in, it was $80 million. And early on, even after a month and a half, we still talked about, that there wasn't even any adequate spending of drawing down some of these funds. And now we're looking to just fill gaps, and the chief is doing a phenomenal job with closing those gaps that the administration really dropped the ball on. We could have had the systems at City Hall upgraded so that we can return. We paid months ago for protections to be put in place, and I'm still getting phone calls from my constituency, in particular people like Mr. Fiscaldo and some seniors, Mr. Donald Lynch, people that are Mr. Fiscaldo called me tonight. I know this is a new day. When are we going back to the old days when we're gonna have council meetings? So, you know, I personally think that, you know, there's a lot still to be desired. We missed an opportunity to upgrade a lot of our systems, and you know, a lot of where the majority of this money went to be utilized for a lot of salaries, and particularly I'll leave that aspect alone, but salaries when we could have upgraded infrastructure and really put some things in place that added protections, not just to the community at large, but to ensure that we can still conduct day-to-day city business, where employees don't have to be concerned of whether or not they're being exposed because all the offices could have been monitored electronically. So, you know, just to make a case in point, a terrible job was done with making sure some of the funds was dispersed. I would like to see a full report, and if we could, Council President, since you're privy to some of the counties' information, maybe we could request a copy of some of the expenditures from some of the other municipalities throughout the county, just to see how we're performing relative to some of these other municipalities, and what are some of the things that they've been spending money on, townships like Wayne and held in West Paterson, so on and so forth.
So Councilman, you know, I've always, even information that's readily available to me, when I try to separate the two functions, but what I'll do though is, I will go, and I know there's been 2 resolutions probably awarding funding. We could get the information from there, to be honest. I know the first go around, it was 29 million, and I know they just did another resolution right now, which they gave Paterson, well, they didn't give Paterson, they awarded Paterson this additional $5 million, 5 and some change. So I'm gonna go that route. I'm gonna go, instead of using the you know, my title to, what I'll do is I'll go online and try to get those 2 resolutions, and then we're gonna go from there. Cause that's the only way the county could get the money through, you know, through an award, just like us. So, but I'll definitely do so. Thank you, Councilman. So can we vote on this now, Madam Clerk? We do a roll call?
Yes, Mr. President. Roll call on item number 2 for approval. Councilwoman Khan? Councilwoman? Okay, you're muted.
I'm sorry. My vote is yes, Madam Clerk.
Thank you. Councilman Jackson?
Yes.
Thank you. Councilman Khalid?
Yes, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Mendez?
Yes, Madam Clerk.
Thanks. Councilman Mix?
Yes.
Councilman Velez?
Yes.
Mr. President?
Yes.
The vote is 7 in favor, 2 absent. Item number 2 is hereby adopted. Next item is item number 3. And item number 3 reads resolution authorizing the city of Paterson to enter into a regional cooperative pricing agreement known as the Hunter County Educational Services Commission Cooperative Pricing System, HSEC Corp. New Jersey State, approved number 34 HUNCCP Fire, Resolution 2067.
Move.
Who was that at night?
Move.
Moved by Councilman Mendez, second by Councilman Mims.
Velez, excuse me.
Mims and Velez.
Tremendous.
Roll call, Madam Clerk?
Okay, Mr. President, let me just get this clear. It was moved by Councilman Mendez, correct?
Yes.
No, Velez and Mendez.
So Councilman Velez.
Councilman Velez, you moved a couple. Just let Councilman Mendez move it.
Okay, all right, thank you, all right.
We'll share the second, Madam Clerk.
Right, for the record, Councilman Mendez moved number 3, and seconded by Councilman Velez, correct?
Councilwoman Mims and Velez.
and Councilman. Okay, thank you, that is right now.
We have a
I have a question.
Councilman Kalik.
Yes, what exactly is it?
Mm-hmm.
What is this?
Number 3?
Yes, resolution.
Okay.
I think we're joining it.
President, council members.
Yes, Harry.
Okay. Councilman Kalik, this is the ability for the city to join this co-op. And it's a need for that because one of the resolutions that you're going to see further down the agenda is related to this. One of the vendors that we're using is part of this co-op. The co-op is also meeting tonight, the city council meeting tonight for the city business. They're also meeting and to allow the city to be part of the co-op. So, like any co-op that we, Exeter County, Middlesex County, Passaic County, Morris County, it will be one more of the co-ops that the city will have the ability to join in order to use their contract vendors that they have. Usually they do the regional, in this case regional. So when they go out to bid, there's big bulk bidding, so the prices come down really low compared to regular bidding.
Who are we using now?
Right now, this we're going to engage. If we will have the opportunity to be part of this.
What kind of bidding do they do?
They follow the purchasing laws, New Jersey purchasing law. Everything is advertised, and
I understand, but what kind of bidding? Like what do they do? Everything?
all type of goods and services. Anything from plumbing supplies. They have a big expense listing all the contracts that they put it out for competition. And what they do after they receive the results, they share with they will be the lead agency, and they will share the result with the cities, municipalities that belong to the co-op. So they will be the city interest to choose to either use that co-op or go out to bid or use somebody else.
Who do we use now?
Right now, they have no engagement. We have nobody right now.
Talking about Hunterton County. Who do we use now? Do we use Passaic Regional or Essex Regional? Who do we use?
Yeah, we have many. We have like 6 or 7 other co-ops that we use. We have Passaic County, we have Morris County, we have Middlesex County, we have Houston Garbage Town, we have National, we have Omnia, you saw one before on the resolutions. So we have few that under the co-op bring substantial savings to the city when it comes out to the contract.
What's the reason we're going all the way up there to sign up with this co-op?
One of the reasons right now is because one of the other resolutions that you're going to be presented to you tonight, that vendor is belongs to this co-op.
Okay, I got it now. Thank you.
President.
Thank you.
Councilman Velez.
In other words, Harry, this will give us opportunity to not just go blindsided out there looking for bids, and there will be better pricing because they will get better pricing for us for other things, right?
That's correct. That's one of the reasons.
Correct. It will be saving costs.
That's correct.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Right, Council President.
Well, who is Velez? Mendes?
I have a quick question, Harry. Are we joining this co-op because of that vendor that is on the pipeline and we're looking forward to do business with them? That's the specific reason? Or what is the difference between this co-op and the co-op that we're really participating in?
Okay. Council President,
Yes.
I'm going to answer the question. This particular have a vendor, which you will see next on the resolution, that they already have a contract with this regional co-op. And after this, if this resolution passed tonight, the city will have the ability not only to participate this time, by any future city needs. We already belong to that co-op. So every time you have need, we can consult with that co-op to find out if any vendor is willing and able to provide to our contract the services that the city seeks to engage. This particular Hanu co-op, we have 6 or 7 that we already belong to, but this particular, they need to have the relationship with them because the vendor that you're going to see in one of those resolutions, it belongs to that co-op.
Okay,
And
so
they already have established contract, I think it's CAT 1986, something like that, already assigned to them to be the vendors that they provide the service.
okay, so the specific reason for now is because that resolution that is on the pipeline to take advantage of the saving of that. That I'm correct?
Yes, yes.
Down to the final question that I have for you, Harry, is that, I'm definitely support co-op because of the simple reason that we get a good saving. And, the co-op now buy it in large capacity and then they distribute it throughout the county and we take advantage of the saving. I get that and I support that. My only concern is coming when by using co-op, we're moving away from from going out for a bid. The only reason why I like to go out for a bid is to include all businesses to be able to participate and have a fair chance of getting a contract with the city. In some cases, do you go out and look for the product in the co-op and also go for a bid at the same time to see where you get better price? That makes sense to you? Can you explain that to me?
Council President, yes, that's what we do. Because in this particular case, we're going by the Board of Education needs are, and this particular vendor that has the materials and supplies that the Board of Education needs, it belongs to that co-op. But to answer your question again, we do a due process, a due diligence, we go out to bid, and we have done, actually, you're familiar with that we have done even seminar for local vendors to know how to do business with the city of Paterson. And right now we have a big emphasis, and we're doing, the administration is doing more than that because we're not going on the local, we're expanding in many different ways. So not only that, local, we know what we're doing, especially nowadays that we cannot meet in person as we used to do before, but it have big emphasis to make sure that participants, big and small, know what the city needs are for them to be able to if they desire to participate in the business.
Thank you.
Council President.
Council President?
Yes.
So I just have some concerns. When we got the packet, I did some research on the Huntington County Educational Service Commission. There's probably 600 plus entities that are part. But the concern I have throughout the state county, I don't see any of the municipalities a part. I see the Paterson School District, I see the college, but I don't see any of the 16 municipalities under this co-op, which is a concern. I'm not sure
Yes.
if it is because of another item that we want to work with on some items we're purchasing. I'm just trying to understand, are we trying to, this is some level of shared service opportunity with the school district? I'm just trying to understand because I don't see, when you do the research of Huntington, I don't see any municipalities that are listed under here. It's cooperative pricing agreement. I see all schools and universities, there's no cities.
That's a great observation. I think it has to do with number 4. So the stuff that we buy from the school district, they're gonna buy it from there.
But why, which is fine, but why would we as a city need to go into a cooperative price agreement? Is it because of some negotiation the school district has already made and we're being tied to that? Or for just this item, why couldn't that just be language in number 4 versus a separate item of number 3?
We have to enter into the agreement first in order for us to be able to use them. That way we can avoid doing bids and things of that nature. We could
You know
just,
what I'm saying? But even if that's the fact, that could have been a language in 4, because we're voting simultaneously. We're voting on 3 and 4 in the same night. So it's not like we're voting 1 week and then 2 weeks later. So why couldn't it just been language inside of number 4 saying that we agreed to go into cooperative price agreement with Huntington versus it being a number 3, which is an established process for the city where there's no other city that's in this cooperative price agreement. I don't know if it's a concern for the city. I mean, if, maybe I'm missing something and other council people see it, but
it doesn't cost us anything though. We just enter into agreement. If we don't order anything from them, it doesn't cost us anything. It's just give the authority to buy from them. That's it.
Council President,
Yes, Councilman.
Eric, what I have understood is the Hanover County Co-op, they will do the bidding for us. They have a contract with other vendors.
Mhm.
They will do a bidding, right or wrong? Eric?
Right.
Yes, because there would be, Council President.
Open bidding to everybody. So
Yeah.
they, on behalf of the city, they will send out the bid packages to everybody. They have a bigger, association with many companies. Basically, that's exactly what they're gonna do.
So Harry, so what was the benefit? Thank you, Councilman Kalik. So like some of my council colleagues stated, why Huntington and why couldn't another co-op do this for us?
Okay, precisely for the answer that I provided before,
You have the equipment?
they had equipment for the what the Board of Education needs right now. I'm also, if I can say something, Councilwoman means, I saw the information also, and I believe, I will confirm before I see you tomorrow. I think Clifton, the also parts, the city of Clifton, and a couple others, mainly the Board of Education, you're correct. But I believe I saw on the list a couple of municipalities, inclusive of Clifton, but don't call me till I pull the paperwork from my office tomorrow.
Yeah, let me know, because I saw the schools, the Board of Education, but I did not see any agreement, and I've been on it since we got it, on the other day. I didn't see any municipalities, only the school district. I'm just concerned that Paterson is sliding themselves by saying we will go into, and I'm not saying that it's not a good thing, but I don't know if we should set that precedence. That's my concern.
So at this time, can we, Madam Clerk, can we do a roll call?
Oh, yes, Mr. President. Roll call in item number 3 for approval comes to Woman.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. My understanding is that we may never buy nothing from Huntington again. But because of this one resolution, I mean, even if we do not buy anything else from them, we're not gonna be fined or charged anything or anything, but, if this is how we can get a better deal for whatever the school district needs, as our producer agent said, that we need to be part of it, even if we don't buy anything else from them. We need to be part of it for now. With that being said, Madam Clerk, my vote is yes.
Thank you. Councilman Jackson?
Yes.
Thank you. Councilman Kalik?
Yes.
Councilman Mendes?
Madam Clerk, Harry, just in closing before we vote, I just want to be specific for the record.
Councilman, we're in the middle of roll call. We've already stopped the discussion, there's no question, and we just gotta vote now.
I'm okay, but I just gonna put something for the record to make sure that we understood this conversation. And what I'm gonna put for the record is that, the purchasing department, Harry, he, searched and this co-op, we're getting into this co-op because they are the ones that have those specific equipment, and that's the reason why we moving in this direction. So I just wanna make sure that he did his homework, that's what I hear, and I'm putting that on the record, and my vote is yes.
Thank you. Councilman Names?
I have to agree, Councilman Mendez, and I'm sure Harry will call me tomorrow. That was the point of reference that I was making. We have to make sure that at all costs we cover the city. The vote is yes, Madam Clerk.
Thank you. Councilman Velez?
Never had doubt of the expertise of Mr. Harry Savalos. He does his work real diligent. He's licensed. from the state of New Jersey to do it ourselves as his profession. I think that moving into co-op, and some of these items to purchase, it will give us the opportunity to get a better pricing. It will give us the opportunity to not people go, because when they see government, they go high, right, the prices and a lot of stuff, at least the cooperative prices is watched by the state, and it has a lot of regulation on it that they have to be fair market and all of the above. So, Harry, thank you for thinking in taxpayer money and saving, even that this is going to serve the district in other capacity. I know if we will go out ourselves to get it a bid or whatever, it will be higher money to pay for all the product that we're going to buy in this co-op right now. So my vote is yes.
Thank you, Mr. President.
You know what, Harry, let me let you know publicly that I appreciate you coming to the meeting and requested. There was many times that we couldn't get clarification, and not to blame the administration, but this is your job as a purchasing agent to clarify things like this. My vote is yes, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mr. President. The vote for item number 3 is 7 in favor, 2 abstain. Therefore, item number 3 is hereby adopted. Next item is item number 4. And item number 4 reads, resolution authorizing the award of contract with Keyboard Consultants, Inc. for the purchase of 400 Promethean active panels for hybrid learning under regional cooperative agreement with Hunterdon County Educational Services Commission Cooperative Pricing System Contract number HCESP CAD-19-06 for the Fire Department Fire Resolution 2068.
So move.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Velez, second by Councilwoman Mims. Discussion. I have a quick question on this one.
Also, Mendes, move it too.
So we have this resolution. Are we gonna have, this equipment is coming to the city, correct? We have to receive the equipment, then we have to do another resolution to award it to the district? NBA, anybody,
I mean, I don't think so, but I don't know.
we actually do.
That's,
If we're ordering it, right, we're not giving the district, we didn't do a resolution awarding the district any funding because they're not buying anything, right? We're buying the equipment. Our equipment is ours until the council do a resolution to give it to them. Am I correct, Corporation Council?
Yes, it's just like when we give ambulances in such a way to other countries, there's gotta be a resolution to give away actual city property, because the city is the purchaser of the property.
Correct, so I'm looking through all these resolutions and I'm saying, okay, so I guess that resolution will be done once we have the equipment?
Yeah, because we can't resolve to give it away until we actually have it.
No, that makes sense, but also, we have a resolution later on where we're gonna install those heat sensors. Doesn't the company install them themselves?
Right.
So how are they gonna do that without us doing a resolution awarding, or giving those heat sensors to them? So we have to work that out later on, but we don't have such a resolution right now, alright? Alright, we can continue, Madam Clerk.
Council President?
Yes, sir.
Councilman Jackson and Councilwoman Mims.
Relative to the question, I mean, I didn't know that this was a common practice. The Corporation Council rendered an example. Is it a practice of ours to give away things to other countries?
The other cities and municipalities do it all the time. It's just an example that I thought of immediately, but I've done it for other municipalities.
It's a practice of ours to give things away to other countries?
Councilman, I've only been here for a year, but other municipalities do it. I've done it in other municipalities.
Very good.
It's not that it's a practice, but if the administration chooses with the approval of the council to make such award, then it has to go through the council. I've seen in Pennsylvania, different towns, councilmen, actually, donated a thing from his company himself. So if someone decides to do something, then the council needs to approve it if the administration wants to, make a donation for a piece of equipment that they want to get rid of. So, any other questions pertaining to this matter, number 4?
I did.
Okay,
You know, I don't wanna beat it again, but I just have to put it back, right? So this was the point of reference that I was making when we voted before, and I asked a question because the Board of Ed is already they're already in the Huntington Educational Commission. So while I was just questioning why we were voting to accept the agreement, now we're voting to order the equipment. Is it because the money is coming here and the timing of getting it would there would be a delay? Is that the reason?
so Councilwoman, I don't mean to answer for the administration, but this is what it is. The money is awarded to us from the county. We don't have any authority to award the funding to the school district. If we were grabbing the money, because we're not getting the physical money, we're getting a grant award, right? We need to spend the money in order to get the money from the county. So we cannot turn around and an award to us, give to the district. We can't.
No, I understand that. Totally understand that.
To make your point, right? It would have been easier if we were able to give the district the money and have them order whatever they want.
Right, I understand that, but the point I was making was timings. The reason why we were doing it as far as going into the co-op agreement with Huntington, now voting to receive is because of timing, correct?
No.
Madam is shaking her head, she's not saying that.
Yeah, because Harry can speak to this, just so that you don't have to do a full bid process. Available.
That was just the point I was driving before. I had nothing to do. I've worked for Harry many years. I know Harry's expertise. I was just driving that point that it has nothing to do really with us. It's about timing of receiving to transfer over to the school district. Okay.
Council President,
Councilman,
I believe when we all finish with this process, the Board of Education had to drop a resolution of accepting a donation from or whatever from us. Is their side, they have to do it, not us.
No, we have to give it to them, Councilman, because right now, we're not giving them anything. All we're doing right now is ordering the equipment. That equipment is ours. We would have to do another resolution now, giving them this equipment. Then they have to do a resolution accepting it.
To accept it, yeah, correct, that's what I'm saying, accept it.
No, both of us have to do it, not just them. We have to do it first.
That's correct.
They can't accept something we don't have.
Well, Marge is here. Thank you, Marge.
Thank you, Marge. Let's continue with the protocol, Madam Clerk.
Yes, Mr. President. Roll call on item number 4 for approval, Councilwoman Khan.
Okay.
Councilwoman Cotton, you vote?
You have to unmute. You have to unmute. You're still muted. Councilwoman, you're still muted. Oh,
I'm sorry.
that's okay. You're good now.
Yeah, I just, I know I was going through some different things, and I can tell you, I've been involved with school systems for the last 40 years in this city. And I can tell you, it's been unfair to a lot of children in this town for many, many years. And we have all these, activities. But one thing I can say is that myself and Dr. Hodges worked really hard for these kids to have academies in these schools. And we have the STEM, we have the BTMF. It's unbelievable some of the things that big schools like Eastside and Kennedy were not getting, and finally we're getting some of this stuff that it should have been a long time ago. And I know for a fact that in some of these classrooms up here, those 2 major high schools, sometimes you got 2 or 3 teachers teaching at the same room. So, and believe me, we're still in this pandemic, and we're gonna have a lot of parents out there who are not gonna send their kids to school. I can tell you that now. They're not gonna send them to school, so you're gonna have parents who are gonna send, and you're gonna have parents who ain't gonna send. So in order for them to teach those that come and those that do not come, the best thing to do is with smart boards. So with that being said, and we got so much, just can do so much for our district, for our children. I've seen how unfairly it's been for quite so many years with our children. So if this is gonna help all, I think if every teacher had a smart board, I know they would use it, because I was amazed when I saw it at International High School. I know at Eastside and Kennedy did not have it, or they were sharing it. And one teacher texted me back and said, just to get a light bulb costs $500 to replace in that smart board. So, if this is gonna help our children, for those parents who wanna keep their kids at home, for those parents who wanna send their kids to school, they can do it, they can teach both of them at the same time. With that being said, Madam Clerk, my vote is yes.
Thank you. Councilman Jackson?
Yes.
Councilman Kalik?
Yes.
Councilman Mendez?
Yes, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Mims?
Our children are not just the Board of Education children, they're the city's kids.
Yeah.
To be a partner and to work alongside of the school district to ensure that our children have what they need is what we're supposed to be doing. My vote is yes, Madam Clerk.
Thank you. Councilman Velez?
Listen, this COVID-19 somehow has teachers and has put us a little bit more ahead, 21st century. This should be done way before COVID. Upgrade the school system, upgrade the material, upgrade our city, upgrade our building. This should be done way before COVID, but COVID has forced us to do it now. So, and we're getting ready. We're getting ready for January. So hopefully this is here soon. And our parents, listen, our kids have to go back to school, believe it or not. And if we could get those schools ready and running and safe, it will be easy for them and for the parents. Right now they're struggling. Some of those parents they don't even know the material that they deal with their kids. You know, it's hard for them, they're struggling. Some of them come from our countries and they don't know English and they have to how to operate a computer. You know what I'm saying? It's not saying that they don't know, but it's a little bit struggle when you have their kids at home trying to get them education and getting out of school ready and getting ready to go back to school is a plus right now. So my vote is yes.
Thank you. Mr. President?
Yes.
Thank you. The vote is 7 in favor, 2 absent. Item number 4 is hereby adopted. Next item is item number 5, and item number 5 reads, resolution authorizing the award of contract with Packet Talk care of Shy for the purchase, installation, and maintenance of 60 Packet Talks terminal temperature cameras for the fire department. Fire Resolution 2069.
So move.
Second.
I heard Councilman Mims second. I don't know who was the other voice for.
Two man's voice, Mendes first, me second.
Councilman Mendez moved it, and then Councilman Byrd and Councilman Mims. May I continue, Mr. President?
Yes, Madam Clerk.
Roll call on item number 5 for approval. Councilman Pat?
My vote is yes, Madam Clerk.
Thank you. Councilman Jackson?
Yes.
Councilman Khalid?
Yes.
Councilman Mendez?
Yes.
Councilman Mims?
Yes, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Velez?
This notation that this certification fund has some dates override on top of the other one, so make sure that it comes accurate the next time. My vote is yes.
Mr. President?
Yes.
The vote is 7 in favor, 2 absent. Item number 5 is hereby adopted. Next item is item number 6, and item number 6 reads, resolution authorizing the award of contract to Northeast Janitorial Supply for the purchase of face masks, disinfectants, ULV cold fogger, and sanitizing equipment on the New Jersey State approved cooperative pricing system number 65 and CESCCPS-ESTNJ 17/18-47 for the fire department. Fire Resolution 2070.
Move.
Second.
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 Councilman Velez, second by Councilman Mendez and Councilwoman Cotton.
Oscar?
I didn't hear you, Councilwoman Mims. Apologize.
Motion by Councilman Velez, second by Councilman Mendez and Councilman Cotton and Councilman Mims.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. May I continue, sir?
Yes, roll call, Madam Clerk.
Roll call on item number 6 for approval. Councilwoman Cotton.
Yes.
Thank you. Councilman Jackson?
Yes.
Councilman Khalid?
Yes, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Mendez?
Yes, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Mix?
Yes, can you hear me, Council President?
Councilman Velez? We heard you.
Loud and clear, yes.
Councilman Velez?
Anything else, Councilwoman?
Councilman Velez, thank you. Mr. President?
Yes.
Vote is 7 in favor, 2 absent. Item number 6 is hereby adopted. Next item is item number 7. And item number 7 reads, resolution authorizing the wireless contract to Truxton Communications, Inc. for the purchase of Chromebooks
So moved.
and accessories for distance learning under New Jersey State Contract number 17-food-00244 for the fire department. Fire resolution 2671.
Second,
So moved.
second,
Second.
Moved by Councilwoman Mims,
second.
second by Councilwoman Cotton Mendez and,
Okay.
I think I heard Councilman Velez too, right?
yes.
Okay. So I have Councilman Mims motion, moved and second by Councilman Velez, Councilman Cotton, and Councilman Mendez. Okay.
Discussion, I have Councilman Khalid.
Oh, yeah, but it's right.
Are these Chromebook for Board of Education or?
Did you share Councilman?
Yes.
Yes, yeah, right?
Yes.
Wanna make sure. Thank you.
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
It's a roll call on item number 7.
Council President, before you go to roll call, I got a question for it.
Councilman Mendez.
Okay, I believe, the district, purchased their own, some of them, and we also, in this first batch, we gave them some. Can we get a total of how many Chromebooks that we already have purchased for the Board of Ed? At least a total? So far?
Council President, and Councilman Velez, we have not purchased any Chromebooks for us.
Oh, no, okay, I'm sorry, it was the mayor with his, Paterson, I believe it was, right?
I think there were some other donations, but nothing with.
Okay, but can you tell us how many of this Chromebooks, how many it's gonna be, and how much will be so far?
We can ask the school district. I know they had some, they were waiting on others, and they had also supplied, one of the reasons they asked for this was because they had supplied other people computers that were refurbishments, and they wanted, to have reliable Chromebooks for everybody.
Okay, thank you.
Hold on a minute, Councilman Mendez. I have a question, Madam DA. How many computers are needed for the municipal court?
I think they put in a request for 10.
So can we, instead of providing, hear me out for a minute, instead of providing 600 Chromebooks to the school district, why can't we provide them 590?
The question isn't so much about, it's about the technology that our team would need, not necessarily the Chromebooks.
Could we ask Ryan if we're able to use this Chromebooks? If not, let's see what we can work out with the district. Councilwoman Mims, there was a time the school district had a whole bunch of computers locked up remember? That were not being used, brand new. For a long time, locked up. I forgot how many there were, but there was a lot of them. So all we're saying is, you just stated right now that they have provided, they probably have computers for everyone, but some of them are refurbished, and they want to provide more reliable ones. All I'm saying is, let's act responsibly, and maybe if Ryan said that we could use his Chromebooks, maybe we could use 10 for that department, for the municipal court. And actually, Ryan is around. What can we ask?
Yeah, he's here. He's listening as well.
Good, Ryan.
Ryan, are you able to answer this question or not?
Hey, Council President, yeah, I'm here. So the Chromebooks won't integrate with the system, that they don't have enough resources for what we need. We need a device that runs Windows and could accommodate all of the applications that we use in-house. We did go over this previously when we were going to get your tablets. There was a mention to get Chromebooks instead of the tablets that you guys have now, and it was the same issue. The Chromebooks just won't work for us. That's why when we order equipment now, we order the laptops and we give to the staff and those work very well. They integrate very easily into the system.
Sounds good. Thank you.
I was gonna say that same thing, but that's okay.
Well, you have to check, that's a responsible thing to do. So, Madam, Councilman. Councilman Mendes.
Councilman Bennett wants to speak.
Hey, Madam Clerk, and the question that I have is, I think it's for Ryan also as well, because I know at this time, we ordered 600 Chromebooks and we're planning to pass it to the school district with a resolution. So my question is, in terms of technical support, warranty, damaged equipment, who is responsible for that? Are we passing that to the school district? Are they gonna be able to contact the vendor in case something went wrong with the equipment? So how this is gonna play out, or this is gonna be our responsibility as well to deal with the vendors? I would like to hear, about that specific topic. I don't know if it's Harry or our tech support that can answer that question.
I'm not sure if you're still there, but I think once we gift it to them, it is going to be the responsibility of the school district.
Okay, understood. Thank you.
Council President?
Councilman Velez.
So Madam BA, so is there have to be some kind of waiver of signed paper or whatever saying that the district is responsible on it and put some insurance on those Chromebooks? Because if they break, you know what I'm saying, if they get damaged by manufacturer, who they gonna go after and this and that? If it's gonna be insured, if his equipment's gonna be insured for them? Because we just don't wanna, here's a Chromebook, it got lost in a fire, it got lost on this, it got lost over there, now we have to get more Chromebooks because they cannot go into insurance to recover back another one. Not a lot of renters has rental insurance in their houses, and anything could happen. And I think that there's supposed to be, a agreement paper that say that they will be full and responsible, not just saying they're fully responsible, and then when time comes that they need to replace that equipment, they don't have nothing in writing. They come back to the city, ask more Chromebooks.
Council, the agreement, we do not have to give them additional anything. This is just a one-time thing.
Right.
They don't have to come for us, but.
Just in case.
No, we have to, we can put, we can make sure that they have they wanna make sure they have everything in place. We're just gonna give them the Chromebooks, that's their responsibility once we give it to them.
You have 3 hands up, Council President Cotton, Councilman Khalid, and then Councilman Mendes.
Oh, no, it's just Khalid and Cotton. Councilwoman Cotton, then Khalid.
All right, my understanding is once we hand these books over to them, it's gonna be up to the school district to decide. And I know that they gotta have something in place now. They done gave out how many Chromebooks? They gotta have something in place now for whatever happens to children with their Chromebooks and stuff. So that's not for us to worry about right now. It's the school district that understand. They probably have something in place and we just don't know what it is. I don't know any child yet that lost a Chromebook or.
Yeah, I got a couple of them that got lost in a fire.
You gotta ask for the floor, come on.
I'm sorry.
Okay. I know the school has sympathy for people. I know they do. I can't see them not.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilman Khalid.
Thank you. I don't want to prolong this, but Madam BA, we're talking about Chromebook. So we're buying and we are giving to Board of Education. Since we are allowed through the CARES Act to buy such a thing as computers or any kind of equipment, I think we should assess our every department and see through the CARES Act if we could buy laptops or any kind of equipment. There is some money out there. I think this is the time with the federal funding, we could upgrade the whole city system. Basically those computers or any kind of software, if they allows us, I think we should do that quick assessment right away and try to apply for this funding. That's just a suggestion. That's it.
Councilman, I think that that's something that we asked them to do before to make sure that, for example, economic development or community development, we often complain that the process is so hideous that someone have to drive from upstate New York
Right.
to get an application. They have to drive back, get it filled out, get it signed, bring it here. Once they bring it here, they get a call to pick it up so they can bring it to another department. So we asked the administration to streamline the whole process and that almost everything should be online. We shouldn't have people coming to City Hall or the community development. Everything should be online. I don't know if we did this with the COVID money that was provided to us through the county, but I just hope we improve some of our operation within the county. Can we do such a thing, Council, Madam VA?
Yes, not only did we spend about $400,000 on the actual like laptops and things, we also made improvements. We purchased that system SDL, which is moving everything to online permitting. You know, it's the intersection of numerous departments as well.
Yeah, the more people we keep away from City Hall, the better it is, and I mean that in a good way.
Yeah.
Just in case, I don't want my words being twisted.
Watch your words, Council President.
So that's
Council President,
Councilman Jackson.
well, you know, in order to make sure that our messages are not misconstrued, we should be very specific on what we're talking about. My concern is that certain employees are being mandated to go to work and others are given the opportunity and privilege to stay home, and we yet to address the fact that, you know, the building is inadequately equipped with keeping those who are forced to go to work free and clear of the virus. You know, we should be spending money on upgrading the systems, you know, to detect temperature, things of that nature. I mean, it's a Band-Aid for a major for a loss of a limb.
Thank you. Roll call, Madam Clerk?
Yes, Mr. President. Roll call on item number 7 for approval. Councilwoman Khan? Yes, are you?
No, thank you, Madam Clerk. Number 7. My vote is yes, Madam Clerk.
Thank you. Councilman Jackson?
Yes.
Thank you. Councilman Khalid?
Yes.
Councilman Mendez?
Yes, Madam Clerk.
Thank you. Councilman Mix?
I have to say, I'm really glad I welcome you guys on because I get to vote all the way at the end now. It feels really nice to listen to the pandemic. So thanks, Madam Clerk. My vote is yes.
Thank you. Councilman Velez?
I agree 100% with you, Councilman. Just, yep, I love what you're saying.
Mr. Benny, you gotta unmute. You're muted.
Oh, you didn't want to hear what I just say, though. I feel happy also that I'm the last to vote because I'm gonna become the saver of a lot of decisions in this council, so I'm gonna feel great. So my vote is yes.
Thank you. Mr. President?
Well, I'm sure.
The last. The council president is the last.
That's right.
Well, but I know where he's going sometime.
Okay.
Nobody knows. So my vote is yes, Madam Clerk.
Thank you, sir. The vote is 7 in favor, 2 absent. Item number 7 is hereby adopted.
Move to close.
No,
You gotta open the public portion.
Oh, I'm sorry.
the public portion is now open, and I'll just repeat the number, Mr. President. I don't think we have anyone, but I'll just do it. Public portion is now open. If you wish to participate in the public portion, dial 973-321-1579, 973-321-1579. Enter code 8326, code 8326, and press *3 to be added to the speaker list. Mr. President, just want to give them like 2 minutes and then we can. So we don't have anyone at this point.
Harry, don't forget in the morning to call me, okay?
You're a meal, Harry.
I saw it.
Mr. President, I will call.
Really?
She said to call before, after my meeting with you, so.
No, before.
Oh, before.
I don't want him to frazzle you. Call me for, unless he has coffee. If he has his coffee.
So, hey,
After.
I was gonna pay for the coffee, but that's okay.
I'll pay for that.
Funny. Oh, gosh. I'm keeping the time, Mr. President.
While we're waiting, Madam VA, just a question, regarding, fogging of the third floor. Have we done that on the third floor to fog out the third floor and to properly clean it? I know, with everything that's going on, I wanna make sure, probably the entire city, all the buildings, I don't know what process has been utilized, but especially on the third floor, I know it's been asked before, but I would just make sure if we have not done it, that there's a total fogging that's done. Even, I know the clerk's office is really busy and everybody's starting to do rotation, but possibly a chance of relief for the clerk's office as well, so that they can do what they need, maybe half a day at home or something like that, so you can completely fog out the offices for the safety of everyone. So I don't know if you've done it, but I'm just putting the recommendation on the floor.
I know the offices are always fogged whenever there is a case. So I don't know if Madam Clerk wants to speak to any other details up there at the most recent time it was done, but I do know that does happen very frequently.
Madam BA, I sent a memorandum regarding that request.
Yeah, it's not something that we do on a everyday basis. We do it in the particular circumstances.
Yeah, but the reason I requested is because the third floor is a traffic, back and forth from people like going to the tax office. Everybody could go up there, everybody runs up and down the third floor, second floor, fourth floor, you know, and they could touch surface and all that stuff, so that's why I was requesting it 3 times a week.
We have cleaning that's being done. We want to be careful, as Chief McDermott had mentioned earlier, about the fogging in terms of, it's the more limited one, following the public health guidelines, and the people who use it are tested for respirators and the like.
Well, I can attest that I come here at 8 o'clock at night, I come here and I see Terrence spraying, I see Terrence doing a whole lot of stuff. So I know for a fact that they are doing it. Because Terrence would tell me, Ruby, you gotta go. No, Councilwoman, you have to go because I need to spray. So I know for a fact that they are doing it.
Yes, you're correct, Councilwoman. Mr. President, if I may. Yes, once I called on Public Works to have the chambers cleaned or fogged, they do take care of it. Public Works do work with my office. If there's an incident or they have a meeting, I ask that it be cleaned before another group goes in there for any meeting.
So Madam VA, could you get from facilities a full list of the clean out and the schedule and how it's been done, so that we can see what that looks like? You know, if it's being cleaned, that's fine, but I just wanna make sure it's not cleaned sporadically or cleaned in sections, so,
They have tracking of that as well. So.
I don't want to throw a monkey wrench in the discussion because it's going very positive. I think you brought this up before, Councilwoman Mims. I went one time at City Hall and I saw City Hall, the third floor was packed with people. I think it was the day they were filming.
Mm-hmm.
They were filming. We shouldn't have that going on in City Hall anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're putting those people at risk. And I didn't want to throw, like I said, I don't want to be negative, but you have to be thoughtful of other people. If they would do that in my floor where I work, I would be really upset.
Remember, Councilman, I said that at the last meeting that it's a shame. Yeah. I came up here, it had to be at least 50 people upstairs, and that it should never happen again. Because if it was me, I would have struck everybody on the third floor to go home.
What my intention when I pass the comment is we shouldn't have any other gatherings.
No.
On the third floor.
Nope.
Mr. President, if I may, I think we have one speaker who is waiting.
Thank you.
Okay, so we, Ryan, you can go ahead and put that person through. Please state your name and address for the record. Yes, we have to give them a couple.
Budgetary, Jackson. Paterson. Hi. Yeah, good evening, council people. How you doing? I'm calling because, like, I'm aware of a lot of business is not following the protocol, like cleaning and sanitizing, and something needs to be done about that. The government needs to be aware of it, because if they're working, they should be doing protocol and 6 feet distance. So I hope someone look into that, because a lot of businesses not doing, they're not cleaning, and they're supposed to be cleaning to prevent the spread. Also, I'm looking for a 3-bedroom apartment or a 4-bedroom apartment, possible in Paterson, which is very high now, and I'm frustrated because I can't find nothing. And in Florio apartment, I got burnt out on my house, and it was arson, and I hope whoever did it come to justice. But right now, I need a 3 or 4 bedroom apartment, because it's getting cold now, and I'm just frustrated right now because everything here is high, and it's ridiculous. I've been here all my life, and I've never seen no high rent like this. This is terrible. And I hope someone do something about it, because I am really frustrated for being here all my life and can't afford rent or can't afford a decent place to live. I gotta live in the hood and get, with all this crime and stuff. This is ridiculous. Thank you.
Anyone else? Excuse me.
To close, Madam Clerk.
Just give me a second, Madam. I have to communicate. No one else? Yes, there's no one else on the public portion. Thank you, Mr. President.
Second close.
So moved by Councilman Mendez.
Second.
Moved by
All wrong, Council President. Wow. All wrong, Council President. It was Mims who moved it. I moved
Oh
it.
my God, even to close the section.
Mims moved it and seconded by Councilman Mendez.
All right, Madam Clerk, you take note that it was moved by Councilwoman Mims. I cannot put my head down anymore.
I got it, sir.
I thought my voice was a higher pitch. I'm like, move. Maybe I'll change the pitch a little bit. Move.
You did it before we actually did that. That's right.
I could go like this. Move.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
That's what happened.
I usually wait for Madam Clerk to stop speaking, then I listen.
And I could go, move.
All right, can I go ahead, Mr. President?
Oh, yes.
Roll call to kill the public portion. Councilwoman Cotton.
I don't know what happened to my 6th Ward councilman. He just left us. I just want to say and I didn't get a chance to say that, to Councilman Mendez, congratulations on your re-election and welcome back to the City Council. To Councilman Khalid Shahad, welcome back. I look forward to working with you guys. You all know that I am really an easy person to work with. I don't, but I enjoy working with you guys. So I welcome you back and congratulations on your re-election. So looking forward to things that, a lot of things need to get done with the city. So looking forward to doing that. I just want to say out there to everyone watching that the COVID money is getting ready to come out. I want you to make sure you reach out to Catherine Family Services and Hearts and Hannah. Please, if you're back in your rent, please, don't wait until the governor lifts the court thing that you can't get evicted. If you're able to do anything or help pay some of your back rent, please contact either Paterson Hannah or Catholic Family Services, they got COVID money. Also, there's a few agencies out here that has money for food, and I know one of them for a fact is the grandparents on Hamilton Avenue and Rosa Parks Boulevard, so please go over there, sign up for this stuff. There's benefits out there. I want to say to even landlords, and what we have discovered is that some tenants, we don't want you to, when the governor lifts the ban on evictions and stuff, we don't want you to be out there, and be evicted, because we have funds now available for renters, to pay for back rent. I'm saying to landlords, if you have renters, and you could be a 2 or 3 family landlord, even more than that, but if you know some of your tenants have not paid rent, please send them over to send them over to one of these to make sure that we that you can get involved. Don't wait until the governor lifts this stuff, and then there's nothing that no one will be able to do. We do not want to wait to get to that. Sign up for some of the free food vouchers that they're going to be giving out, especially at the grandparents relative resource center on Hampton Avenue and Rose Parks Boulevard. I just want to say that we still have the virus is still out there. It's still out there. I say to people, please be careful. Please, like the lady just said, sometimes when you go into a business, you got to remind the owners too. You know what? Sometimes what I do is I just walk out. When they're letting them in there and don't have masks and other stuff, I don't stay in there. I just leave or walk out. But businesses, I know what she's saying, or allow people to come into the businesses without masks on, without and buying, and that shouldn't be. I'm not sure if the state have people coming out, but I'm not sure if they need to be reported. I'm not sure who that goes, who you would do that to. I mean, who you would file a complaint with and all that. So, but with that being said, I just want to wish everyone, I need to thank everybody who helped me for my Thanksgiving dinner. It really turned out good. It was a grab and go. I had my cooks. I had like 6 cooks, and I want to say thank you to my 6 cooks, which was Anthony Glover, Timmy Greer, Roger Greer, Kenny Simmons, our president of the school board, his brother Wesley, and his friend Travis Jackson. They all cooked the turkeys for me that I needed for my Thanksgiving, and it turned out very well. Thank you, Councilwoman Mims, for partnering with me, trying to keep this going. This was year number 37, and people would say year number 37. And as long as I say, God, keep me here to be able to do this, I will continue to do this. So with that being said, I want to thank everyone that came out and volunteered with me that day, especially my 3 ladies, my Anna Pincha, Julie Gonzalez, and April Lampley. I just appreciate them coming out. And Councilwoman Mims came out to help out with me. Thank you, Councilwoman. Also, the mayor stopped by. Councilman Mendez, thank you too. You stopped by. And I always say, being on the city council is about a partnership. I truly believe that, we should help each other. If you have an event, I should show up at your event. If I have an event, you should show up for my event. And that makes the community see that you have council colleagues that are working together to make it better for the community. And to me, that is so important. I want to say to you all, my other council members, I appreciate you all, and I'm only a phone call away no matter what. So with that being said, to my Madam Clerk, and I just want to say one more thing. And I'm gonna go. I'm telling you, I've gone to many offices. You guys don't know. If the Madam Clerk office shuts down and our tax collector office shut down, we're in serious trouble. You don't realize if you go into building offices now, not many people working, but if that Madam Clerk office is not able to function, we cannot function as a city. We can't have no council meeting. Don't let that office shut down. So we must try to keep these 2 offices and even our finance department to keep the stuff going on, our tax collectors, our finance department over there, to keep the stuff going, because we need those two pieces to keep the city going. The clerk's office, the finance, the tax collector, we gotta collect money. So with that being said, we just have to just think about that sometimes. If they're not able to function, we're gonna be in serious trouble. So with that being said, Madam Clerk, I appreciate you all, and you know I do. With that being said, my vote is yes.
Thank you, Councilwoman.
Are we closing the public portion or are we closing the meeting?
I know! Don't get compliment like, I ain't hardly say nothing all night long.
I know. I understand you.
Okay.
Thank you, Councilwoman.
I get emotional sometimes, you know
Me
that.
too. I want to share your emotion. That's why.
Okay.
Councilman Jackson?
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Council President, one of my largest concerns is we actually just go through the motions. We had a young lady who obviously has expressed that she's going through a hardship. Her family, she has children, and sharing that those concerns with her. She raised a question, and not one person even ventured to answer her concerns. No one in this council asked and or expected the administration to. We have not held them accountable. So this young lady has sat, I'm sure, through hours and hours of watching various council members pontificate and council members fight for a pole position on who's moving an item. And here is a woman who just lost everything, who's expressed that she can't even afford the basic necessities of life, and no, it just gone right past as if it was a common thing when she just said she didn't get the flavor soda that she was expecting at lunch. It's an extremely disappointing experience for me to be a part of this, and I'm prayerful that next year, this upcoming year, brings about something different. We're here to answer the concerns of the community, and basically what I've witnessed and heard is council members and members of the people who are chosen to take care of these concerns of the community, more or less and take care of their own issues and concerns. But that's my own personal feeling about it. I believe you're the council president. You should be leading the charge in holding the administration accountable. That's the administrative function. But it's your purview. Madam Clerk, my vote is yes.
Thank you, Councilman Jackson. Councilman Kalik?
Yes to close the public portion.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Mendez?
Thank you, Madam Clerk, and Councilman Jackson. I was waiting for my turn to cross the public portion to vote on before I vote on. Just to ask Madam Clerk if she had the number of that Paterson, and just to share with me, send me an email, because I might be able to help her, with maybe some area that she could look into to rent it, and I would love to see how I could be helpful to that young lady. So if you have the phone number, I would love to have it. If you could send me an email. Councilwoman Cotton, thank you for your kind word. I'm excited also to be back into the city council. Our Paterson, I love this town, and God already gave me enough, and I believe that it's my time to give Paterson a little bit of all what I have. I have enough already. I feel blessed. And first, I'd like to thank God just for being alive through this trying time that we're going through it. And really from the bottom of my heart, I'd like to thank each and every one of the Third Ward residents to support me, not only one in May, twice in November, to bring me back into the council. I love this community. I don't have any higher agenda. All I want is to fight for our community and to be out there. Those who know me know that I'm more about the ground, helping people, doing, what it takes to help the community. And I've been doing something that really, it's been touching me. For the last couple of weeks, we've been giving out food to the senior. There's a lot of seniors in our community that they're home right now because they cannot go out, and they're afraid to go out because of this COVID spiking in our community. And it's been very blessing. So I'd like to encourage anybody out there, if you see any person, maybe your neighbor, maybe a friend that is in need, let's try to help them out. Let's help them out. So once again, thank you to all the third ward residents and those that didn't vote for me. I will work extremely hard to earn your trust and to represent you with dignity and respect. And you will see me like every day in the street, helping people and to make our city better. And that's my goal and that's my promise. My vote is yes, Madam Clerk.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Davis?
And so this is to close the public portion. We'll have an opportunity to give closing remarks, so I'll wait for that opportunity to do it at that time. Madam Clerk, my vote is yes.
Thank you. Councilman Velez?
I will yield my time to Council President. My vote is yes.
Thank you. Mr. President?
This was,
It's customary since, we've been doing this since July that we address public concerns right after we close the public portion. We ask the administration and the council to address any of those issues. But it is interesting how, and I'm gonna have to go back and watch the other videos, how some of my colleagues I have never heard some of my colleagues say before July, it is the president's fault. So now, even when it rains, Councilman Velez, I'm gonna apologize to you for the rain that we had last night, where you had to clean, the gutters and everything. Maybe the rain the storm that we had, maybe you wanna blame it on the council president also.
No.
It is just interesting how people don't understand the function of the council. I'm running the meetings, you all express any concerns from the public just like I could. I'm the president and I address, run the meetings and have control of the agenda. But some council members still want to sell to the public that everything that happens is the fault of the council president. This is great. My vote is yes, council colleagues.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. The vote is 7 in favor, 2 absent. Public portion of the special meeting is hereby closed.
Now, Madam BA, could we address the concern of our constituent that called in? And also, Madam Clerk, we have the information of that person.
Yes, sir, we do have the, Councilwoman Cotton had gotten it, so I'll email it to Councilman Mendez as he requested.
Also to me, please.
Madam Clerk.
I will.
And our chief of staff is here also.
I will.
So we're covered on that end.
We have the name and the phone number, so I'll.
I recognize her voice, so when I looked at my phone, I did have her in my phone, so I reached out to her. But, other council.
Councilman Cotton.
Yes, huh?
Just for Councilman.
Yeah. Well, no, she's not. But
Council President, can I address Councilwoman Cotton?
I've known her for the last 15 years, so.
Council members, don't forget.
Not close to a resident no more.
We can have some structure here at least.
Okay.
You
want to say?
Councilwoman Cotton, when you're done, I'll give you a call so that we can all rally around the situation and try to help.
Okay.
I've already reached out to Hannah while she was talking, and on one other case, so we'll follow up with her with that one as well. Thank you.
I know you saved your remarks for the time of voting. Okay. Anyone else? Okay.
Yeah.
Do we move to close this meeting?
Yes, Mr. President, may I have a motion to close this special meeting?
Move.
Councilwoman Mims, second by Councilman Velez, and roll call, Madam Clerk.
It was second by Councilman Velez.
Amended. We got the same voice sometimes.
Okay. Fine. Good. Roll call to close the special meeting of December 1st, 2020. Councilwoman Cobb.
Y'all let me do all that talking and we were just focusing.
I was going like this.
I just like, I don't know. And nobody said nothing, like, we were just only public portion. But anyhow, I'm not gonna repeat everything I said.
No,
but
please don't do that.
I know. But you know what, you gotta have laughter in your life. If you don't have laughter, you would be totally sad all the time. You gotta have laughter. People gotta feel good sometimes. Making you feel good makes you feel better. And you can do so many good things when you feel good. And y'all let me just do all that talking. But anyhow, Madam Clerk, all you council colleagues out there and everybody in TV land, all have a good night. God bless you all. Madam Clerk, my vote is yes.
Thank you. Councilman Jackson?
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Once again, congratulations, Councilman Mendez, Councilman Shaheen Khalid, and the job well done. Public desperately needs breath of fresh air. For a point of clarity, Council President never said that it was the Council President's fault, but what I can do is caption some of the highlights of tonight's meeting, which has been indicative of previous meetings. I have asked numerous questions. We can talk about the illegal hire of the zoning officer. We can talk about the overtime issue where I posted the $8,000 checks, in excess of $8,000 checks in one pay period for certain employees. There's a number of different questions that I've asked that you've allowed to just go forward without the administration answering. Even tonight, there's a number of different questions that I've posted or phrased, and the moment I asked it, okay, very good, let's move on. When other council members have asked the questions, you've allowed a moment for the administration to answer. So the level of accountability comes from the way, the manner in which the decorum and the meetings are ran. And absolutely, there is a level of accountability, and you don't want to wear it, that's fine. But I'm not putting any undue responsibility. I take my job here very seriously, and I hold this administration accountable. When it comes to any issues that I voted on, all you have to do is be very specific. I could point out issue after issue of votes. You can never point out any vote that I've cast that has not been favorable for the community. Don't talk about stuff like that. Talk about my responsibility as a legislator and as a voting member of this council. I'm doing my best to hold this administration accountable to make sure that the residents are being held accountable. I mean, it's okay to have, a light-spirited meeting, but when a woman calls up and expressing her heartfelt scenario of where her family is struggling through, in my opinion, and we all have various opinions and we differ in our perspectives and opinion, but in my opinion, everything should stop and the concerns of this family and this woman should be addressed. Now, if you see it differently, that's fine. Don't try to turn this around as if it is a personal attack. I'm just trying to make sure that her concerns are being met. This administration carries the accountability and responsibility of all of the assets and the resources to make sure that residents are being taken care of. Just like what we're doing, what has not been done with COVID money. There's a level of accountability. And I have not lined up and or been a simple rubber stamp yes vote for the administration, and everyone knows that. My position is clear. I don't change my position, but all I'm doing is pointing out the fact, and I'm glad that council members had an opportunity to address it. But guess what? That's a matter for the administration to address. As much as I appreciate and I respect the due diligence of Councilman Mendez and his desire to go out and be a helping hand in the community, that is the responsibility of the administration. And this council's job is to hold this administration accountable for making sure the members of our community are taken care of. Illegal conversions of houses, illegal basements that's causing fires. So the that caught on fire in Garfield Avenue where the gentleman who jumped out of the third floor window. So these are all things that I've been extremely consistent on. You can go back to all of the tapes, on all the videos, of all of our council meetings, and I've been the same. I have not diverted. I have not did when you was the council president or someone previous to you. If you can't handle the pressure, you should not have asked for the seat. And with that being said, listen, man, we have a level of accountability. We have people in this community that are dealing with tough circumstances, suffering, and guess what? Those issues should be addressed by the administration. So tell me, you can point out where you have held the administration accountable to making sure that these residents get the services that they need, and then I'll leave it there. But anyway, Madam Clerk, I appreciate the work you do. Thank you very much for facilitating. My vote is yes.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Khalid?
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
You're welcome.
Great to see everyone. It's been 4 months or so. Good to see everybody. I never lost any election, but I haven't seen a lot of you in 4 months. It's great to see everybody. I want to thank Councilman Jackson and Councilwoman Davida for standing by me. Also, I want to thank 9,854 constituents of Second Ward for participating in the last election. And voters have spoken. I will talk to talk, walk to walk. Good night, everyone. My vote is yes.
Thank you. Councilman Mendez?
Thank you, Madam Clerk. So once again, to all those registered voters supporting the Third Ward, God bless each and every one of you. Thank you for the support. And those that didn't support me, I'll be in your door, knocking on your door to have a conversation with you. And because I want you to hold me accountable, I will represent you with dignity and respect. And that's what I'm bringing to this council. Paterson, please, let's stay safe. COVID-19 is out there. Let's use face masks. Let's practice social distancing. Also, special thank you to all my Jamaican brothers and sisters in the Third Ward that came out with strong and support me in May and also in November. God bless each and every one of you. Let's take care of each and one of you, Paterson. We went through a very difficult time. 2020, it's been very difficult for a lot of people. I will keep on my prayer, all those brothers and sisters that lost a loved one during this pandemic. And let's just continue to work, Paterson. Thank you so very much and good night.
Thank you. Councilman Mitch?
And so first of all, I've said it earlier, but I'll say it again, congratulations to Councilman Khalid, and also to Councilman Mendez. I'm actually one of your constituents, so congratulations. I mean, I see you out there all the time, and I'm sure you'll continue to do great work. That's what the community is looking for, representation. And I just want to congratulate both of you and welcome you back to the City Council. Also, keep our family in prayer as we are experiencing a death in the family. Please lift our entire family up in prayer. I also want to say this, and I'm not going to stay on it long. There's a difference in pontification and productivity. We can talk a lot about what is not being done, but there's a difference about talking and doing. And I have to say, and I have to commend, as I work alongside of Council President Flavio. It's only been 4 months, and I can say emphatically that you are doing a great job. I'm new to the Finance Committee. We have pushed the ball along on many items that were presented before this council that supported those items with great dialogue from the council members. There's many things I can say within the last a little over 2 years that we have recommended, requested, and asked that has been done because of that due diligence. And so keep doing what you're doing. To the resident that calls in, the process is always, when they call in, we don't interrupt. We allow them to give out their information. We respond after so that we don't interrupt the conversation or the information to ensure but I can guarantee, and Madam Clerk can attest to it, and the secretary that is on, that the next day, the information, and sometimes even at night, the information is provided, and Madam BA can attest that I reach out to ensure that whatever the situations are, they are resolved. And I'm sure other council colleagues are doing the same thing. So I don't want any Paterson residents to feel or to believe that you speak and you come to the mic and you are ignored. That is totally not the case. We definitely reach out. If we know your voice through calling in, we don't have to ask for the phone number information. We will directly reach out to you to ensure or come to your house, or, send an email, whatever, text message or whatever, to ensure that whatever your concern, it is resolved. So it is not my heart or I believe no one's heart, to disregard or to ignore anyone that comes or calls in, or even comes when we're physically in the chambers, any of your requests. We are here, we've been elected by you, we are accountable to you for the work that we continue to do every day. You are the priority, and we believe that we are better together, and we're going to continue to work tirelessly with this administration to ensure that we continue to work towards a better Paterson. I want to say thank you to all my to the council colleagues for all the work that you put in day in and day out that we don't see and that we do see. So I want to thank you for that. To Madam Clerk, our Deputy Clerk, all of our secretaries, thank you for your due diligence of taking all the requests, responding immediately, phone calls, clarifications, so much that you do. Thank you to Councilman Gilman Chowdhury, and we're probably doing it already, Council President, but I want to put on the record, when we have, I'm not sure if we're going to do it here in virtual land, but we normally provide an outgoing plaque to those individuals that are no longer on the council. I just want to ensure that we have one for Councilman Gilman, who I have to say has who did a phenomenal job, to Councilman as well, Councilman McCoy as well. So I want to commend both of them, and I know their work has not stopped. Paterson is 12 o'clock, I believe. It's a new day. It's a new day on the council. It's a new day for the city. Let's keep moving forward. Let's keep building a better Paterson. Madam Clerk, my vote is yes. God bless you, Paterson. Have a great night.
Thank you. Mr. President, if I may, I'm taking care of the back already. Thank you. For Councilman Traherne. Councilman Blaise?
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Council President, I apologize. I get too emotional when it comes up to defend our legislative body in all aspects and all level. Everybody that knows me, I have recused myself in other situations when it comes up to JCM or Florida management or anything that comes to this council. I always recuse myself. Even that I don't have to recuse myself because I don't hold a board here. I don't sit as a member, nothing like that. I don't get no benefit from that. But I just want to say this, and I receive a lot of calls from tenants. Tenants from Paramount LLC, tenants from Sunrise LLC, tenants from JCM Investment, Florida Management, Blue Onyx, Empire Management, all of them, and I could mention other small tenants that rent for individuals out there. Let me tell you something. You'll be surprised when you get the facts one side and then you get the facts on the other side. A lot of people are struggling out there because they cannot pay the rents, and some of them are not paying the rent because they don't feel like paying rent because they remain in that grace period that the quarter closed. But let me tell you something. A lot of these homeowners or investors in the city are struggling too. Because they're not receiving the same fair share of their tenants, getting back the rent up to date. But now they have the opportunity to go to tax force, okay? They got the opportunity to go to Madam Ruby Kai mentioned it before, Paterson Charity, and also Heart of Hannah. And there's other places too that you could go. If you go on the state website, they're gonna tell you where to find help for pay your rent. So there's help out there. But comparing to Paterson, and this is what I'm gonna say, if you go to, and I was thinking what I was gonna say, you go to Clifton, you go to Helden, you go to Oak Park, you go to Fairlawn, you go to the other city that considered like ours, Passaic, the rent are the same or higher. And not only that, they will do a background check, okay? And if they see that you have one eviction, they will not even rent you because you carrying a history of eviction in your record. That's how bad it's out there. But in Paterson, there's a lot of landlords and there's a lot of developers and there's a lot of individuals that say, you know what, let's give them a second chance. And now, and I said it in the beginning, I recuse myself sometimes to vote on items, okay, because they say, oh, it's a conflict of interest, but that's not conflict of interest, my opinion that I'm gonna say. I have experienced, okay, a lot of houses getting burned in this pandemic. I've been in those fires. Guess who owns those property? And some of them have not been Florio. Other people, and those individuals have come forward to relocate them in other apartments. Probably not the same one, but at least they relocate them. So, you know, you have to see the balance of everything in life. And once again, I heard the young lady, I don't know her number, but if I could move her, because she's saying in her statement that she is tired to live in a ghetto, I will move her to the 5th Ward if she wants to move to the 5th Ward. Even that, I consider every ward has their unique presence and every ward has a unique representation. And I believe that Paterson, when you see Paterson, I don't see Paterson as 1st Ward, 2nd Ward, 3rd Ward, whatever. I see it as Paterson. So when something happens, and I have to be, I don't care, 1st Ward, 2nd Ward, 3rd Ward, I consider myself councilman because when I help my colleagues to get the things done at the same time. Like Councilwoman Rubicon, meanwhile in the meeting, I sent her information to work on something, right, Councilwoman? And also with other council members. I don't overstep other people's authority because I know that there is a protocol and everything. If somebody called me from the ward, I say, okay, no problem, just be advised, I will let know the councilman in that ward that you call me, or you see an email from me, or you receive a call from me, okay? So, but we work together. At the beginning of this meeting, in the budget meeting, I say, and I'm gonna keep on doing it, until we learn how to talk about we and not me. And we start talking about we, this will change. And we talk about me doing this, me doing that, me, this city will not go nowhere. Councilman Mendez, I congratulate you, and Councilman Shaikh Khalid. But we have to understand that when we were 7 council members or 8 council members, we were struggling to move the city forward. So put in the agenda of your mind that it's not a me, it's a we, and that we all have to move this city forward. Strike the egos, strike the differences of this administration, or you have an administration, or anybody has an administration. Think about the decision we're making in this council is a we decision to benefit not only the public servant of the city, also the taxpayer of the city, and making sure that we move the city forward. And if we don't like something, there will be a time to vote and change the administration or keep it if they have improved the agenda. But once again, we're here to work together. Listen, let me tell you something. Those 15 days that I was here, council president and council colleague, I'm blessed that I had COVID the way that I had it. The way that I had it. I had minor symptoms, I had all of them, I had minor symptoms, but one thing I sat down in this house by myself, I feel sorry for Alexa Every time calling Alexa, she was the only one responding to me. But I was sitting in my house praying for every council member, praying for every victim out there with fires and situation, working from my house. And you know what that made me feel? A better man, a better legislator, because I thought and prayed for others instead of thought and thinking about me and my prayers for me. I thank those that took time to pray for me, and not only for me, for my family. Okay? For my family. God is so good that He protected, because I didn't thought myself only. I thought in everybody out there. I started making my list who I made contact. I started calling people. I started praying for people. I started praying for my wife. My wife came negative 3 times. All right? I guarantee when she came home, she was negative too, so just in case. But, you know, one thing I lost, Council President, and we had the conversation with those councilmen that had the opportunity to call me and those that did not call me and send me text. I am grateful to work with you guys. And not only, I don't say it by my words only. You know, I don't take things by heart. I don't get mad. If I get mad, I get easy happy because I'm a happy camper. But let me tell you something. We have a tough agenda moving forward. We need to send a message that we are united in between this pandemic. That we are going to move this city forward, no matter you red, black, white, green, or whatever, or what flag you carry, what country you come from, or what religion you preach, or what language you speak. We need to move this city forward. Because tomorrow, our kids, my son, is going to say what I did good and what I did bad when I was a legislator. Let's leave a legacy that when we are not here anymore, that we could say, you know what? This councilman did this right. This councilman did this for the people. This councilwoman did this for the people. Now, if you want to be one of those that want to leave a legacy that is me, let me tell you something, that the only people who's going to enjoy it is the only people that are going to buy a meal at McDonald's and then eat it and then go home and forget about you. God bless you. Thank you for the opportunity, and once again, let's work together. This young lady could call me. There's a lot of places in the 5th Ward that I could help her to get some places, also get some venues to her to make sure that she get a decent place to live and that she be proud of her legislator around. And when I do something, I don't do it with me, I do it with we. Thank you, God bless you. And let's keep, last but not least, please, let's keep our colleague Marissa Dowling in our prayers, please. And sometimes a text is good, and sometimes sending a prayer is good. I even record me singing, and I send it to her just to make her laugh, just to make her laugh. And if a laughing and a moment of joy change things, let's do it, you know. And last, I'm gonna do that Ruby Kind. And last, forgive me if I offend anyone in this council of any shape, any form. Forgive me. I'm not perfect, but I try to get to perfection with the Lord help. God bless you all. My word is yes.
Thank you, Councilman. Mr. President?
Councilman talk long tonight.
And he had the state of the city address. So you know, some councilwomen, you serve with me on the board of ed, and I'm not a person that have egos. Like, I never try to be the president of the board, and you know, and when I became the president of the council, I knew that I had to deal with different personalities. That being said, I would not change anything on this council, and you might think that I'm being, you know, that I'm lying. I don't. You know, I knew that I had to deal with different personalities, and everyone had the right to their opinion. The only thing that gets to me sometimes is that when people make up things and make it seem like it's you know, make it credible by the way they bring it up. But I don't take anything that happens on this council. The next day, I'm back to business. I'm addressing constituents' concerns, thinking of solutions to resolve some of the problems, and also trying to prevent things from happening. In the past, some council members were upset at me because they feel that I gave too many recommendations to the council, to the administration, on the finance meeting. And I told some of my colleagues, I said, listen, I'm not here to see anybody fail. I am here for the city to do better. If the city does well, I do well. I'm not here for the $40,000 that we get as council. I'm actually decided to run because, and some of you can say whatever you want now of me, but you remember when I used to go, Councilmember Les, you and I used to be at the council meetings all the time, even when I wasn't even thinking about running. Councilman Mendes, you saw me all the time, Councilwoman Cotton, and those were times that I wasn't even running for office. And the mayor could tell you this, that I was always there making recommendations. I would do a lot of research, and I would take my 3 minutes to provide some solutions to the city. People would not pay attention to what I said, but you know what? 3 years later, they will end up doing the recommendations that I asked them to do. So we all bring something to the table, and I appreciate every one of you, but we all bring something to the table. I learned a lot from Councilwoman Cotton, Councilwoman Mims, Councilwoman Les. You have a drive. You're always out there with the public. Councilman Mendes, you too. You're a hard worker. I would not change anything on this council. I just want to say that. I don't know why so much hate, because I decided to, run for president. Let me tell you a little story, and I'm sorry, we're not going to do this in the next meeting because we have too many items. So Councilman Mendes, don't, Velez, next meeting, Councilman Khan, next meeting, we're gonna, keep it short, but,
If you don't throw my items away, you will.
So Councilwoman Cotton, one time she wanted to remain, being the president. And I told Councilwoman, Cotton something. And when I looked her in the eye, I said, Councilwoman, you should rotate from time to time. And some of my colleagues are still upset till today because they wanted to hold the position forever. We're all entitled to be council president. This is not about one person. This is about the city and the council as a body. You never hear me going around, oh, I'm council president, I could do this because I'm council president. You're never going to hear that from me. You have never. The minute you start hearing it, let me know and I'll step down. So all I'm saying is, let's put our egos aside. We all have a job here to do. And we need to work together to make things happen. I understand that some of my council colleagues, had recent elections. There was people campaigning against some of you. So I understand how you might be feeling. Other people have perceptions of why some of us didn't get involved. But it is what it is. I take responsibility for my actions. And all I say is, in my heart, I know that I didn't have any bad intentions. And all I gotta say to the residents is this: we're going to continue to work, and I just hope that the shenanigans that happen in this council stop. If they put so much time and effort into addressing the issues that we have in the city, we will have a better city. My vote is yes, Madam Clerk.
Thank you, Mr. President.
3 minutes out.
The vote is 7 in favor, 2 absent. Special meeting of December 1st, 2020 is hereby adjourned. Good night, everyone, and hello, Councilwoman Davilo. We really missed you. Hope you feel better.
We miss you too, Al.
Yeah, good night all. Good night, council colleagues.
Good night.
Good night.
Night.